Good Lord. This morning, we've been knee deep in court, Second Amendment videos, self defense scenarios, practice scenarios, all manner of things. I've posted a few things, but nothing really directed at anyone specific. Except for one situation, then there was. But other than that, I mean, like I hadn't said anything. Then last night. Now we had a whole lot to say. We made it clear to Ruski, who I would imagine is currently tuned in here. Hello, Ruski. Hello, person watching me. Unlike you guys, see, I don't know how long Bambi's live. You can hear the moving around. I'm checking and pulling it up right now. Let's see. 5 hours. It's like almost 6 hours ago. Okay. Now, if you think I've been sitting here the whole time paying attention to this, and I'm not that calculated. I mean, not with this shit. Most people have to go through an experience or something once or twice or multiple times before they get to a point where they have, naturally the maturity level to calculate something out like that. I'm not worried about what she's been saying. We'll listen to it if none of them will come over here. I tagged Bruce in a post letting him know that not even be flexible about it. I'd go over there. Hey, Joe, Arendorf, fucking goof, dude. I let him know that I'd go over there, or they could come over here. But before I do that, somebody's already popped in the back labeled Bambi's boyfriend. You're gonna have to wait, whoever you are, because I'm gonna start running this like a show, like it ought to be, which is gonna require structure and adhering to things, and that's not always my strong suit. I will admit. I'm kind of go by the, I've been described before as, flying through things, sort of like, I guess you heard the expression, by the seat of your pants or haphazardly. You know what it is, though? It's this damn freaking, you know what it is? I'll tell you what it is. It's these. You ready now? You sure? You want to know? Because I mentioned it and I bet it got passed off like it was nothing. It's this damn new age acceptance and push for fucking psychedelic treatment, making psychedelic treatment at home actually possible. This is only just a short term, and I'm not going too deep into the specifics. I haven't gone deep in the specifics for obvious reasons. If you don't know, I don't want any interference in it or harassment of anyone, even if they're a company or whatever. It's the ketamine, y'all. I don't know what else to think other than the ketamine shit. Like I had my telehealth thing this morning. I have come. See, here's the thing. Here's the difference between me and this individual we're going to be talking about. That I guess right now we're presenting the idea for a new series, and it's really dependent upon if it continues, whether or not I keep being used as a tool for this person to attract more attention. They've made it a habit. It's a
MO of theirs. They do it with this one lady in Illinois. They've done it with another fella that's, I believe, out up in New York or somewhere, or used to be. You know, they refer to themselves as being in a place called MobTube. There really are no places on YouTube. Kind of getting tired of the ignorance around here and shit about that. Sure, you got different niches and sectors or what have you, but they're not that they're invisible. Okay, there's no community. I wish they would make different sections like that. That probably would not be a bad idea, you know. So while I'm not adversely against the idea, nobody's going to tell me that just because it's Tony Pizza or whoever, or something to do with that Muggsy dude fucking threatening a woman that, you know, I've had in my chat that I'm friendly with and have no problems with. Shout out to you, Miss Penelope. Hope you're doing all right. You know, and we witnessed all of that. I mean, do you not realize there's a few key females, and that's a single amount, technically. I mean, but most people can probably figure them out. They've sat here and they've watched not just one, but two, three different times of these three different females being here on three like different occasions, and more than that, really. But just support me. You know, one of them didn't. One of them actually, you know, when someone's green and comes across a channel like the Worky Verses, or a person that's in the Workyverse like I did, because back then they didn't have their channels labeled like they do now. Back then it was just simply so and so TV or whatever, cover random stuff, whatever. It didn't say, you know, we go after this guy or none of that. They were just, you know, they covered random stuff. Sometimes about Ryan, sometimes about Johnny Goble, sometimes maybe about an artist that's getting supported from someone else. You know, they talk about stuff like that. Well, another fellow that goes by the name Matty Marinara used to be a frequent of these people's channels. There's one person specifically I'm thinking of. Um, and was all right with them. And I think he technically comes from this part of the community. And look, to the ones that consider themselves MobTube, other than the person I got issues with right now, like I got no issues that you know, I understand it. It's just that this person lectured me so much about how YouTube is like this and that, and with the law and everything because of my issues with workies, that to sit here and have this come full circle and turn completely up on its head, and for her to be sitting where she's at right now, considering at the end of late May, it was what y'all are doing to Rocco and Square is wrong. Completely unsolicited, unprovoked, on her own, out of nowhere. Of course, I, I didn't hear about it. Or no, actually I did. Of course, yeah. I think how I heard about it was them, basically all of them lashing out at like, how dare she call us out? And it's, you know, the reaction I saw from that reminded me of when I did my shit back in the Cammy days. Like it got a bunch of people that are involved and regularly do shit, and they're like, "Wait, this person is talking about exposing or doing this or calling." No. We're gonna give them a taste of what it's like to be an you know, whistleblower. That's the way I can describe it. Feels like you try to advocate or um, bring up how a channel or maybe a person shouldn't act. I was watching Brandon Herrera's channel a while ago earlier. A guy asked, who was a fan, mind you, that he didn't want to be on camera. Guess what? He wasn't shown on camera. Was he in a public place? Sure was. It's a thing called decency, human dignity, respect. Just because we live in a digital age now, I mean, what was it Mike Tyson that said the internet made all of y'all way too comfortable with saying shit to people you wouldn't in real
Sorry about that. My granddad called, and I was getting off the phone with him. Guess what I heard? I heard somebody saying, "Hey, how you doing, Mister? So, Wilson." People know my granddad and they love him. They know that he cares about people and stuff. And he's a good person, educator.
and that just got me reflecting on that shit I see every day. That one fucking clown fucking talking about my granddad and I ain't shit around here. You know what? I might not be shit because I'm fucking young and I ain't had kids, or anything, and I'm still pretty much when it comes to the level of, I don't even think of myself in terms. See, that's the problem, and it does have to do with the internet part of it. But the solution isn't the extreme one that you hear all the time being shouted. That you want to know why it's being shouted and repeated all the time, especially while this is going on streaming or I'm somewhere else around a bunch of people, to get everyone to think that person got the right answer and is smart and I'm dumb. And to support their little arguments that um, I I like this. Oh yeah, so I enjoy what someone like that mustard fucking lunatic does. That's why specifically, you don't see me playing his channel. I even stopped fucking downloading his videos. You know, I had taken, was it, we're up to three now, ain't we? I think. Yeah, I've got three notches on my belt, three channels in the graveyard, claimed by me from legitimate YouTube reports, not fucking false copyright strikes. Let me guess, she's gonna threaten counter any of her copyright strikes, which will indeed be false. Then that means she's gonna, I guess, get that money. She's gonna be getting here soon, right, y'all? That $150,000. Dude, if you got that, if you really had that money coming to you, once you talk, like, unless you hate the area, well, just because people know on the internet, if I got that $150,000, I'd pack my shit up. I'd put that piece of shit fucking house on the market, sell it as quick as I could. I have to, I want to make, I want to do this as a fair comparison. So I'm going to try to pretend like, okay, which I can do that because I mean, I'm not even going to explain that line of logic though, because it'll just get criticized. I'm just gonna have to start reminding myself when I want to start to catch myself over explaining sometimes to people that it's not even worth it. But let's say, okay, so you get that, and have a soon-to-be lawyer. Currently, people said that has braces here or whatever. I don't know. I think that was just joking. But, yeah, lawyer, dependent, dependents besides dogs. I'd sell the house, just to get somewhere new. I would definitely delete, not hide, but after I got everything I wanted to save from these channels, I would delete them permanently. Any other mention or impersonating channel or anything else, I would go through diligently and try to get YouTube to remove possible. And then, I don't know, I either wouldn't come back for a good while, and when I did decide to come back, I would have a fucking computer set up with a proper table. I'd have maybe something to dampen sound, whatever, or touch it and stuff. I'd have complete different set of ideas and rules and like mindset. Like I probably, if you have that much money coming, why not leave? Come back behind an account that doesn't have the drama attached to it. And then you could, I don't know, do something actually different and creative. And even if people from around here hear about it and find it, what are they going to do besides bring up, oh, yeah, 4 years ago I was on into all this. Who cares at that point?
Some people might, go and look for bullshit, whatever. But in reality, at that point, like before that probably would catch wind or anything, you would have amassed at least a few hundred, I would assume, if not maybe more subs. So you'd have a whole new, you know, people might say, why don't you take those advice and do it then yourself? Well, I'm not moving yet that I know of, so I tried. Unfortunately, I didn't have gave my fucking channel to Muggsy, who then fucking sold it off. That motherfucker sold this channel. That's how I got it. He knew I was a mark for something he could probably leverage if he could think that, he was confident and a friend or whatever. And that's bad, like when you got so many people fucking with you, but you know the person is like, and in your little psyop, you've got to counter and come back with blah blah blah. All these lies and fake backstory and shit to try to make me feel more like the likelihood you're a real person, and a female. But that Chi Chi account, no, they could show never once anything attractive or flirtatious or same with Dino. I wasn't attracted to you. Oh, God. Dang. I was not attracted to you. Oh, my Lord. It's called being nice. Good God. Everybody is. I mean, if you put yourself in the mindset and heart and in your heart space to be nice, you will naturally see beauty and stuff in others and just say it, and compliment them. That's called being a nice person. But because I'm a guy and shit, and we're on YouTube, and this is a drama, I don't even consider this like a troll, and everyone wants to call this a troll community, this, that, not too so far. This is a fucking drama shit. This is all this is. Gossip, gossip, gossip. Who thinks he knows the other person better? That's kind of what it's degrading to. If it ever was anything that could degrade, it literally started out focusing on fucking one guy
Supposedly trolling a celebrity online.
that also trolled, but for some reason got real mad at him for doing such. Like he
Probably, not saying.
and I don't know if Johnny Goble trying to do any of that. I'm sure some, not all. Didn't see it ever probably getting like this, I bet. But
Do you think people out there on YouTube that
regularly troll, I don't give a fuck if it's who it is, if it's unless they're trolling somebody that either by confirmed case convictions or fucking whatchamacallit, hardcore like video person scrolling through showing that it's legit, real, not just that way, but maybe the person coming with the allegations, if they're not old enough or whatever, like if they are, then they could voice change, and not show them and everything. If there's anything like that someone's identified with someone that started off as getting traded, and then I won't say it didn't happen for a reason, but that's not going to be the case with me. I'm not fucking, what's his name, Dr. Disrespect. I'm not fucking the other one, piece of shit. I can't even think of his fucking name. Cecil, that bitch, yeah. And I'm not them. And so for them, I say, fucking have, go bananas as far as I'm concerned. Because they sit there. And that makes it hypocritical. Because it's like, well, you're coming up with the one rule, the one exception. Like, we don't want this to happen to anyone else. We think it's okay to say that to them. Aren't they human beings too? No, not if they, not in my mind, if they, like, literally, I don't even give a fuck if it was maybe just for a moment. If they ever got approached online and some message came out or something and somebody said, I'm blah, 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 is that okay? And I know what I'm fucking referring to. And they say something creepy back or whatever. No, fuck that. They need to be locked up, if you ask me, for life. I mean, well, not even that. I would say worse than that, but then you have to spend money on them all their life. But, yeah, those people will fuck up. So I don't care about the channels that go out and single those people out and or the pro channels. But like if you look at the case of Daniel Larson, like I feel a little conflicted about like it's so hard to tell like what some shit is just because some people develop these natural. It's like a natural bit that they always do to try to give off an impression to people that I don't think that's the case with Daniel. Like, but at the same time, they were supposedly sitting Pinterest and different things he had at content. It was really like cheerleading, and he said phrases people either donated or told him to say that was like fucked up, talking about he would legalize, that type of shit.
So he's fucked up, but he's also documented as a kid, like showing that he's fucked up, and was at this center and everything else.
Now, because of those trolls, who, in my case, if there was something to do with him,
and that younger person, younger than he is, I don't know if they're of age now or not, but they weren't originally, at least, that he fucking kept always talking about he was going to be with. And the trolls always used her name and shit. Like, even though they would get on to Daniel
for talking about this crush he had inappropriately of this
person, they would still then go around and spread this poor girl's name, in the name of trolling him. So, if you ask me, in his case,
I mean, there was some really fucked up whoever was. Like the dude that the FBI contacted one of those fucking young people that was trolling him because they were
like that fucking
connected close, like in his ear, and he recorded the fucking phone call with Daniel on the phone in prison. Like,
I don't, they're probably looking very
closely, and if there's anything that can be construed that's criminal, I don't know. I guess if you tell somebody to say that you're gonna blow whatever, unless you're doing it with a threat or something, or like extortion or another, I guess it's not a crime. So it's his dumb ass fault for saying it, but still,
they was looking at them all, and now.
I don't know if he's really, I think he's, I need to look it up and find out his updates because he's absolutely going to just not make it in prison at all. There's just no way. And and this is the only reason why I'm even considering this about him is because he don't have any like actual victims or anything. So, and his background and everything else combined, like, I'd be the only person that off the top of my head, I wouldn't say to release him. I would say to fucking put him in, shit and get him. He needs to be looked at and shit. Like, he needs to, observe. That's what happens when you're, shit. Ask you things, gauge your responses, go through all the little stuff. And I imagine they did do that when he was younger. So who knows? Who knows what's all true when it comes to that? I just know that that's a crazy situation that's too long to really get into. That's what we got into it now. I'm regretting it. But the other one,
Cyrax. Yeah, fuck all them.
now Cobra, he's just unique. As far as I can tell, I've never heard anything about King Cobra that was awful. I caught just a little bit of the stuff with that girlfriend he had recently, where they made all content arc about that and stuff. And I don't think I once saw him like raise his voice or ever anything to her. So oh shit, sorry Casey, I thought it was trolls. I just kept ignoring it.
Okay, hold on. Time out.
I'm gonna have people fucking cut me off because I'm kind of on a.
Well, you're on a roll, but nobody can understand you.
What do you mean?
Like for the last 10, 15 minutes, we have no clue what you said. You may want to peek at your chat every so often, because we've been telling you we don't understand a word you're saying.
Can you hear me now?
No, you're still muffled like, I don't know what. You sound like you're in a fishbowl.
How about now?
Nope. It's worse.
Hello? I can't fucking understand this shit. You cannot hear me.
We can hear that you're talking, but we cannot make out what you're saying. Are you busy doing stuff?
No, I'm sitting down.
Good God. I'm legit sitting down.
I have no clue. Don't ask me.
Fucking actual fuck.
Why do you
Hold
have
on, I'm
two?
putting my.
Why are there two of you up there?
That doesn't have anything to do with it. Now I'm listening to myself on the other one, on the headphone, but now let me go back on the live and see if I can hear it. Well, I can. I've got it turned off.
Well, we can actually understand you now.
I don't know why it does that. Okay. So you can hear me, and I'm on the same mic. I haven't reset or nothing. That's weird. I'm coming through fine now, right? Though.
Yep. Perfect.
Somebody came here and said they got info on Bambi or something. I don't want any info on her. I know enough. I don't know why. What the fuck? Are you serious? Do you know of this, KC? What do you mean he was? Can you still hear me now?
Yeah. What?
Did you see any of this? What the fuck? Damn. Yeah, I bet she wasn't.
No, I was
Okay,
sleeping
look.
at 4 a.m., so I have no clue what anybody's been doing.
Me too. I didn't get up to about 6. Here's what I think is crazy. So she's so sure what I did, the only little part I've heard from her live, just a few little sentence or two was, "You want to play? Like, go ahead, make it." He said he's gonna make an archive channel. Da, 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 da. Like, yeah, I will. Like, you're not gonna on your last channel before you took up the rapper and I.
and me and you started talking, and we supposedly became friends. You
Had stuff
with it on
on me, my pictures and stuff, and you weren't very quick to take it down. You know, they kept throwing it up
in my face how you had this up and that, and
all throughout that while in contact with you, or while in contact with her, I should say,
so because I'm not talking to her.
talking about her. Um, I was understanding of it. I was like, I know, we've changed from that.
And I
Said, and even if
we, whatever, I was like, if you get
tired or you don't
want to deal with most of the crap I have going on, whatever, and then even though they're coming at you, I said,
I won't, make anything about you
unless you start up
again. She's like, no, I
wouldn't do that. Same thing like Bird said. And so she has, right, as a result of a little back and forth, she did. The only thing I've done so far was just talk. I haven't used pictures. I haven't, put numbers out. I have put out messages because she tried to call me a liar. I don't like
being called a liar. So
yeah,
you would think like she'd just go off, do something else, and know that it would naturally die out, which it would. But no, she thinks that she's gonna turn back around and have stuff all on her channel, and I'm just gonna, sit here, or I'm gonna report it and bitch about it and cry or something. No, I'm not. I'm gonna troll the shit out of you. I'm gonna make nothing but content about you. And if you think you can take it all down, go ahead. I mean,
you got plenty to go at. You got outlaw women that's got stuff on you. You've got content of me and you together, and
you legit
claiming when I talked about stuff about this, saying
about how it's crazy. You can't get a handle on it. There's no way to get a handle on it because copyright strikes
aren't good enough unless you're willing to get a lawyer. They'll just fucking counter them. I said,
and
you can't hit everything, and they make all. And she's like, oh, yeah, you're right. That's why I don't even let it bother me. She's like, you just got to get to that point.
Okay, your back's being muffled and it's really hard to understand.
How about now?
Still muffled.
Can you hear me, though? Oh, my God. I'm just going to chat, and I guess if you hear me, you do, and you don't, you don't. Maybe that'll fucking stop the trolling. What do you think?
Huh?
Yeah, huh? You heard me, didn't you?
No, I didn't hear you. Hence why I said, huh?
Okay, how about now?
Yep.
I'm not gonna be the Verizon guy. I literally didn't move an inch, maybe just a half an inch. Okay, so anyways, like I said, there's too much. You can't hit it all. Like that's why I gave up on even reporting the workies and stuff because they started to post about and would get joy from getting privacy struck or whatever. So I'm like, okay, well that's and I stopped doing it because if I'm doing what they want me to do, well, I'm just fucking up. And she says, like you and everybody else, you just gotta get to that point where you ignore it. But she cannot ignore me. Like I don't tag her, Army. I don't tag her. I don't run to her channel and I don't have no army of people and shit that tell them to do. We're doing it, in unison with me. So I don't know why she's so far hung up. Well, I mean, you ought to know why. Because what I'm saying, even without any visual effects or anything like that, or bullshit fucking animations or silly I just say things are true and they just kind of eat her up. But panel said one thing. So will you just admit that doc? If she would have legit
I'm happy now. Not a doctor.
being obsessed, freak.
If she had, I mean, even saying it like that, I would have said, well, at least she was honest on it. And I wouldn't be talking about her today. I'd be like, oh yeah, I got her to admit she's not an actual doctor to YouTube. I gotta respect that. That'd been like if I came on here
The whole time saying I was a nurse, which I wasn't. Started nursing school, but I didn't fucking finish. Can you still hear me? Yeah. How is it still like this, guys? I don't fucking understand. KC,
Yes.
can
What?
you hear me now?
I can now.
All right. It said if you're having issues, restart the device. I did. I closed this shit out. If it keeps doing it, what I'll do is I'll fucking restart this whole shit. Once I get back on my computer, I won't have this problem. But just basically, in a nutshell, you told me, and a lot of other people, you just got to get to the point where you're ignoring them, Like, I've worn myself out, striking people, privacy, complaining, all of that. And when they started to show that they got glee out of it and joy, like, oh, that's a W for them and shit, and L for me, I stopped doing it. Like, to them. And she's just threatening all that and everything.
You can't copyright strike me down unless I show, like if I do the things that people do when they snipe.
It's not a legitimate strike. And if I'm pausing your video or not pausing it, even but talking over it and different things, it's transformed. It may be shitty. It may be very shittily transformed and not a whole lot of
work put into it, but it's still technically transformed. You're welcome.
That was kind of quick and all of a sudden,
I don't know why you didn't say bye on here, but okay.
Your audio is trash. Like, that's literally all you people came up here for, I guess.
No, not you, Casey. Like, everyone's coming in there just to say the audio's trash.
I don't know why people, like, didn't nobody actually believe that I was fucking dead? Why'd you just come up and leave, Casey? Like, that's weird.
Like, I mean, I'm not saying bye, I mean, like, and
I'm asking, it stands out to my brain because the only others that did that were people that ended up, like, I don't know. It was fucking, it's ominous. No, please interrupt my ass. I need to be interrupted.
Fuck, I own enough karmatic points of interrupting
others to be interrupted probably all the time. The way some people talk, I mean, I just have this fucking, man, whenever I think of something, I know my mind's always going, I will lose it if I don't fucking get it out. My sleep was horrible last night. So, I don't know. I definitely been experiencing some side effects to this ketamine. They're like little bitty lozenges, basically. You just fucking put them in. And if anyone's ever gotten the adverts and stuff because I've seen them before, I actually got it from a YouTube video is what really got me looked into it. But I'd seen the advert stuff before. You can find out about it. It's not horribly expensive, but it's not cheap either. This is something that I thought about wanting to do a few months back and didn't mention it. And so what I did was, I started when I made the switch to THCA, which, yeah, you still got to pay sales tax, but you don't have all that added extra red tape tax that fucking comes with the dispos. So I was able to save some money. Not only that, I would have stopped taking these antidepressants. I have went days where I've forgotten, sometimes more than one day, to take my antidepressant.
And I have literally experienced something that I
thought I was going to type into Google and maybe get some obscure fact. Like, I had no idea when I typed in this symptom that it was going to be like, oh yeah, this is really online, medically, and widely documented. Brain zaps.
Let's think about that for a second. Brain zaps. It sounds just like what it is. Hey, come here, buddy. Come on, lad. It's me
or you, anybody. Just, existing and breathing.
And your head fucking, like your little brain. And it's like a little electric,
You can feel this shit. And man, that shit took me by surprise that first time.
I was like, what the fuck is
that? Hold on a second.
Hey, buddy.
What you got there? What you got there? Got you a hash brown? You don't want to eat that thing. Where'd you find this old ass hash brown? So damn burnt to a crisp, whoever fucking had it didn't want to eat it. Nasty. You can stuff out the food, can't you? You got a good nose. You know what I wish I could do with you, Brownie? Wish I could take you into the woods somewhere where I knew we could find some fucking exotic plants that you could sniff out. But you ain't trained for that.
Come on, buddy. Woo.
It's insane, man. I will do a video more on all this treatment. I'll get done with it and everything at the end. I need to calm down my enthusiasm a little bit. I was directly told. Like when I did get told that direct phrase is, It kind of got me down a little. I was like, damn. I've always said, called it, from what I was told, which was major depressive disorder recurrent. That's how it was labeled in there. That's how it was explained. They said at this time, I mean, that diagnosis, though, was established in 2019. So going on 5 years. And they said at this time, though, you basically have your symptoms have it, not like, if anything, they've fluctuated. He said, but they mainly have remained in the lower part consistently. My depression has. So I've got treatment resistant fucking depression. Didn't even know that was a fucking term. Or at least that's what his opinion was now. He said that's what they call it.
What is it, Baba? What is it? What is it? You got some food? Huh? You want a bison kidney? Should I give you a bison kidney? Should I? What have you done for it? Oh, you want to do this? Next thing that you want guard? We've been working on this. Trying to add, along with the fetch of the medication, another thing where he kind of like stands on guard right in between my legs, facing behind me. Granny, come. Touch, sit. Touch. Good boy, sit. No, come here. Come. No, come. Sit. Sit. No. Right here. All right, sit. Good. Right there. Good boy. Good boy. Sit. Guard. Good boy. Sir. Heel. Good boy. Shake. Good boy. Big. Big. Good boy. There you go. Good little boy. No, it's not a medical diagnosis. It's basically coming on. It's like withdrawal from. It's a symptom that can come from withdrawal of antidepressants. And I double checked. Talked about my doctor with it, and they told me they were sorry about that and gave me a look. I was like, I expressed to him. I said, I really, at that moment, not exactly instantaneously, but I got to thinking on it, and I mean, I used to have the idea that antidepressants and anything like it, all pills essentially, unless it was a life-saving or necessary medication, which technically, depending on where you get your information from, according to the World Health Organization or the WHO, SSRIs would be on their list of essential medicines. But I didn't. I got Kayla off hers. I didn't even consider the side effects. So ignorant. Luckily, though, I mean, she didn't seem to suffer that. I don't really think she was on them as bad. At that time, she couldn't have been because she straight up flushed them. But, I mean, she had even been put on lithium before, It's just fucked up.
I think we were. I obviously, believe in capitalism, but I think capitalism where, a market like a medical market or private prison industries and different things that don't have like oversight or some type of check and balance put in to make sure things are done to uphold a certain standard that would be, everybody would want equally. Um, on how they operated certain things. I mean, you know, I just don't think that any long term use of an SSRI, like if coming off of it or not taking it. So in the event, say I'm like in this hurricane situation, what if I was down there? If I couldn't get any medicine for a few weeks or whatever? I mean, God, imagine if I was still in Suboxone, dude. You'd fucking be fucked. Oh me, that'd be fucked up, dude. Like if I could somehow get to a life of not taking any medication, just rely on prayer, meditation, and my dog, a good diet. That's what I'd like to have. You know,
Mm, good boy. Yeah, yeah, I'm a good boy. Dad's a good boy. Yeah. Oh, okay. You all right? You're not gonna do the cough, are you? Oh, okay, good. It's good. You want to say hi? Fucking- well, say hi, Brownie. Brownie. Yeah. Yeah. Like, give me a bone. Let me get a old bone, a piece of bacon strip. Come on, Dino. We really don't want to do content on you. We're not bad people, but you make my daddy out to be horrible. Like, and you lie. That's as bad as well. That's bad. Don't be racist. Granny's like, I take offense to that comment. I'm not commenting no more. You can keep the camera on me. I'm looking away. Nope. He says I will not entertain that nonsense. Mixed. Come on. Leave me. He's like, you salty. Was I salty, Brownie? I can take a taste of my damn hand. Yeah, he is an ex though. I'm just joking with you. I'm just playing around. All right. See, I actually can joke and play around. Everyone always made it out because I was complaining about what these people were doing and these trolls, which was extreme and not just run of the mill. Now, early on, I'll give you an example of when one of the examples I overreacted that I regret, and I've apologized for immensely. In fact, even one of the people from that sector, and I think this should be noted since I've been doing this social experiment. They accepted my apology. I mean, they said they did, and I appreciated it, and you know, acknowledged it. And now that was an example of me, you know, getting angry and like, I mean, they was just on my panel and stuff, and then to see them on another ones with a lot bigger numbers, more people, and it's just like it really kind of hit me like they're all laughing at you. And they all sit here and know it, and they pretend like I'm like, what am I doing here? And I went back to my, and I went live, and it was Fusion, Red Reaper, you know, and for Fusion to sit there and try to say, if ever, I don't even want to acknowledge the times, you know, if in the past or now, I mean, especially now, that I'm mentioning this, you know, he might say something or create a little spiel to say on the next live or video he puts out. For him to ever try to imply that he was trying to help or be a friend or anything to me online when he encountered me, not only is he a liar, but he's a stone cold, deep liar. Because I mean, it's clear he was not, you know, and it took me a little bit to kind of figure that out. I don't know if an aspect of it of you know, I don't know. I'm never gonna be the type, though. I know this, even if I'm on another channel or somewhere else, unless it's something in person that you know you cannot deny. Obviously, like there's no possible excuses like there is behind the internet shit. I'm never getting involved in another situation like I allowed myself to be roped into in the instance where he, you know, played on my sensibilities to send something off at Iceman. I don't know if he was mad at Iceman. I don't know if it was payback for something. I don't know if he just did it because he didn't like him. I never got around to asking because it that's not why. I mean, I thought it was legit real what he was telling me. He can't even say that he was obviously fake acting or nothing because he was not. I mean, you don't say this and that, and man, someone should do, you know, and no one is going to. And you've talked about, you know, because he heard me give my little spills during the Cammy situation. Like, so he was literally like testing my value. Like, if this person like trying, because I guarantee you this, had I not believed his ass and took the number he then gave, uh, which I didn't ask, like I didn't ask for it. He said, "Oh, I know what you should got." He said he's on probation. I was like, "Do you know?" And I was like, "Well, I need to know where or whatever." He's like, "Hang on," and I get a direct number. He doesn't tell me the county or whatever to let me find it on my own. He gives me the direct number, so that shows you it was all pre-planned. Otherwise, why would you have the number that quick? I told that story here recently because there was a lot of, different people from Deadlies all around and Brits, different ones. And he tried to save face and say, no, I knew, this is bull. That's, looking back though, had I said different, said, no, I'm not a snitch or it's none of my business, etc., any of the excuses that could have been used, it would have been, well, he actually, he could lead off from testing. He might get the person that was behind that account to lie to say that, yeah, I was, or that they were who he was making them out to be, and say he refused to help and do the right thing. He said, oh, it's none of his business. That's the type of person he is. I swear to God, at that stage, that's what, like, they really wanted to get, and, they would act for a little, for a while, and it would seem like everything, how do I put it? Everything is normal. And while sometimes, yeah, I laugh stuff, I understood that things I did got laughed about and laughed at. I wasn't fully in that still realized state. And then you have a moment like when you see them on the panel. I mean, like immediately right after, like, then twisting a decision you made or something that I chose to talk about that's hard that I went through in my past. They just really knew how to get, and that's why they call that good old days, stuff like that, because they had me in a spot where I was, they could literally get me to just react almost on command. That's bad. I mean, like, I wish I would have watched the documentary I watched on social media and stuff a lot sooner. I think I'm gonna share a little something with you guys. Um, I had set up, to listen to a little bit of Bambi, but I'm, even right now, I'm trying to avoid doing that. You gotta stop, um, Brewski. You gotta be able to try to get it to stop with me being violated over on that channel. Which, if y'all are gonna bitch about me replaying stuff or commenting about it, different things, you're gonna have to freaking get her to me out with stuff and not talk about me. Hello? Yeah. Damn. Hello?
Square, we are so confused down here in the chat. We have no clue what you've been talking about.
The fuck are y'all? What do you mean you don't know what I've been talking about? Like, I mean, ask what's confusing that I just said. I'm trying to share something with y'all about I'm talking in general about everything.
Okay, well,
I just got
who
off
was
the
you talking
Iceman
about?
thing, and
What guy? Are you talking about Scooter?
no, I
What
was
guy?
just talking about how Fusion fucking, really made me think that he was basically explain how I thought that these people were friendly and stuff. And then I saw them over on that panel, and that's when I made that cancer remark. And I acknowledged that, I mean, I'm not being, I guess, very detailed on everything, but I would think that most people would understand. I talked that she forgave me. I was like, that's the one person that's acknowledged an apology. I mean,
Who's
what did
she?
I say that was confusion? Lady Tracy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then
Sorry,
what
I
documentary?
just get this is a documentary about the social dilemma. Then there's another one that's, I mean, it goes into showing. You'd have to see. I haven't really gotten that deep into it, but I think you've heard probably like I generally that how the social media actually affects our brains just like chemicals do. You come on Facebook or something and you see a post that you agree with or whatever. I don't know, like you get a release of dopamine, different things.
Oh, okay. Now I'm caught up. Sorry. We were just confused.
Sorry. Sometimes it is ramblings, but I don't know how it's mad. It's not mad to me. And like I said, if you don't want to be here, mister, you can leave. Been talking about Bambi. I've been trying to avoid talking about Bambi, telling them directly if they're watching to, just move away from me. I mean, otherwise, like, why wouldn't I? Like, I mean, all these other people are going right along, getting away with making archive channels of me, taking my stuff. Like, they don't respect the rules. Like, they use little loopholes and stuff. And I mean, I don't care if it is a loophole. It's still violating it intentionally or getting around it, trying to circumvent it. So if they can operate and be monetized, I mean, she's not going to tell me what the fuck I'm going to talk about and can't play. Like, only YouTube's going to do that. She can bitch about it or report, and I can move on. I can just do exactly what Squirrel's done. He's moved from 3 channels now each time just to talk about me and bitch about me more and claim all this shit. That's the incessant ramblings of a madman, mister. Also, underwear, like, really? That's fucking disgusting. And now the audio. So how can hear me? How can I hear me in these other earphones in? Listen. Listen. Do you hear the echo?
Yeah, it's just that
Listen.
your audio goes in and out. So, like, you'll be doing fine for a little bit, but then all of a sudden it sounds like
Well,
you're
that's what's
in a
causing y'all to not
fishbowl.
understand me. That and me talking real fast and stuff. Yeah, that's why y'all don't understand. I'm sorry, I guess. But yeah, let me play this. I'm just really trying to avoid covering her. Like Ruski, I don't know. Y'all, we don't know how this is gonna end.
Well, can I ask one quick question?
Between Ruski and fucking Bino. No, you know how it's gonna end, don't you? Tell me.
They're
I
gonna live
wanted
happily ever
doxing her.
after. Oh, she's been doxxed. Now go ahead. You said tell me something. What is it?
Well, you tagged me in another post, so I thought
Yeah,
the
because I'm trying
experiment
to
was done.
see. Well,
Is it
I
back on?
mean, it will be if we can't really have this panel, or it will end. I'm wanting to have a panel with like people from, all around, sort of, so to speak. If Paula wants to come on, or Kay. I don't think Kay is going to. I don't think Cassie will. I don't believe. Maybe not. I don't know. I was gonna ask you. I'm not inviting any fucking jeans people. That's for sure.
Well, can I
Maybe
ask
one or
why
two other
not?
people,
Why not have
because I
like
don't.
one?
Because I can't. I won't take anything they have serious.
Oh,
Man, they were
but
supposed to be against Workyverse and all this shit, and then all the things about we won't make anything about shit. And I'm not giving them recognition. That's literally what they're craving,
okay. So who
besides
are you
views and
wanting?
stuff off me. So I'm completely fucking not giving them recognition.
Okay, who are you wanting to have on this panel then? Just rough
Maybe
draft.
Paula or Cassie, you, maybe Britt or Penelope. I'd be welcome to having Andrea up if it's not fucking circus the whole time. She's gonna troll.
So no one from the Workyverse and no one from the Gene team.
No, oh, Charlie D. Like to have him on.
For what reason?
I have him, but
Oh,
if I give too much away, let's just put it this way: I want to have a diverse set of people that I can bring up some stuff and ask it. We can get the answers, and they're gonna be honest, sincere. Like I'm not gonna be able to give you something to be able to think on and construct now. Like I want to get what people have to say in that
hey,
moment.
that's a good idea. I like that.
Be the one of one, and we'll be done. Then there don't have to be any fighting or arguing or any of that. If people, like if you want to bring up something someone's done or ask or something you think they may have done, might not even be true. Like I was gonna just ask people, say, like maybe say, freaking. I don't like the whole phrase trigger warning, but like not to fucking throw stones or judge, but what about, just like lead into it soft. Too many people come on the panel and they wonder why there's never a discussion, and that's because the first person leads off with a tone that's fucked up, and they say something degrading, and they don't understand that the whole fucking panel. Everybody else is going to come back with that same type of tone and energy, and it's just going to get all discombobulated.
Now, are you planning?
And nothing
Is
there.
this supposed to be
But
like a live stream?
I don't know. I mean, that was the idea, but now that you're asking me, it's almost like I'm wondering, like, should it maybe be done pre-recorded? And the only reason why I
Because,
say that is to avoid tampering,
and
and
that
that
was
would
my
show
thing.
if
Because if it's
everybody
done
comes in,
live, if it's done
and that would
live,
show if
people
everybody's.
are gonna
I want.
answer according to knowing that others are gonna hear this. You know what I mean? So, do you really feel like you're
Well,
gonna
they're
get an
gonna.
honest answer?
Well, I mean, if they answer in a way that they still then continually show the behavior or video or otherwise after the, I mean, you can tell if somebody's. I think some of the stuff will be obvious if people are being honest or not. That's just me, though. Maybe I'm wrong. But I mean, I just think like, I mean, they're gonna know if they talk with me even privately. Like, I mean, I would still have to talk about it sort of to conclude the last part of what, and because I have a conclusion that this is all wrapping up to, and what I'm trying to do is get everything out, and then I'm trying to minimize it so I can explain it as short and clear, concise as I can. Have examples to back it up. And that's what the live stream would be. Well, the live stream and some other examples. Like the first panel I went on, Paula's as well, as a comparison. Because I've been to her panel, so you can say, like, I've put myself in whatever troll enemy territory. So I don't know how they regard me other than locale and whatever. So, like, or, dumbass person to be fucking toyed with. So I just, there's a whole bunch of things. Yeah. Will this keep you from talking over top of people? Maybe not. I get what you're talking about, dude, but it's not technically, I'll say yeah and no at the same time. That's why I'm not asking anyone from Workyverse specifically, because I already know by them doing so without Filthy being alright with it or in on it, they're not going to do it. Any of the, like, serious minded ones. But Paula and them, have been separated from that. Charlie D has. A bunch of people have. I'd be willing to ask Naughty on, really, but I haven't heard or watched much of him. But I did see something where he had said somebody called his child or whatever. Yeah, from months ago. He was trying to figure out who did it. Are you there, Casey? Because it's like long periods of silence.
Yeah, I have my mute on mic.
Oh, I was like, damn.
My mic on mute. That's what I meant.
Oh, see, you mess your words up too, like me. No, not a woman's only panel, but like I said, Charlie D. I don't want anyone that's gonna come up and not like be just a regular fucking person on that panel, and I'm trying to limit it because I've seen a lot of these folks, and I think I can almost gauge if they're being serious or not, and if they really act like they are and somehow fool me currently while we're on the panel or whatever, fine. Because when they go off later and say the opposite, there's still something that can be drawn and said about that, even if they are fake when they're on here. So I could go ahead, I guess, technically, theoretically, tell you what my point is without them even having to come on here and do that, but it'd be interesting just to see if everybody would come on and be, you know, legit. that may be just the experiment in and of itself is, you know, something to do with, yeah. I don't want to say too much. It's not like people are overthinking it way too much, I think, because they didn't think to see me ask or whatever to do something like this. So, yeah.
Facebook's just a place to see what my friends are doing. What they don't realize is there's entire teams of engineers whose job is to use your psychology against you.
I was the co-inventor of the Facebook like button. I was the president of Pinterest,
Google,
Twitter,
Instagram.
There were meaningful changes happening around the world because of these platforms. I think we were naive about the flip side of that coin.
We get rewarded by hearts, likes, thumbs up, and we conflate that with value and we conflate it with truth.
A whole generation is more anxious, more depressed.
I always felt like fundamentally it was the force for good. I don't know if I feel that way anymore.
Facebook discovered that they were able to affect real world behavior and emotions without ever triggering the user's awareness. They are completely clueless.
Fake news spreads 6 times faster than true news. We're being bombarded with rumors.
If everyone's entitled to their own facts, there's really no need for people to come together. In fact, there's really no need for people to interact.
We have less control over who we are and what we really believe.
If you want to control the population of your country, there has never been a tool as effective as Facebook.
We built these things and we have a responsibility to change it. The intention could be, how do we make the world better? If technology creates mass chaos, loneliness, more polarization, more election hacking, more inability to focus on the real issues, we're toast.
This is checkmate on humanity.
So that's on Netflix for anybody that wants to check that out. I actually haven't seen it. I don't think I'm going to show all this. I got you. I understand now. Sorry about that logic. I guess Miss Chrissy is doing something. Nope, she dropped off again. Okay, Miss Casey, I got it. Have a good day. Probably not going to be on much more.
So they had no internet, no smartphones. What do you think they did for fun?
I don't really know how they would like communicate with their friends.
Faxing. It's been in the 70s, faxing.
If you
I never wrote letters.
seen Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, I imagine their life was like Charlie.
Hardly.
It was definitely
Sometimes.
far different than what it is now. Lots more kids
Phone.
outside.
A lot more like being outside than inside.
I was outside
Wow.
24/7.
We were told to get out of the house, either in or out. So if you wanted to go outside, you were out all day.
I pretty much lived on my bike.
Would ride my.
I feel like life was more authentic, like more genuine.
Yeah, it got creative.
They got very creative.
Probably would want to be talking about the information revolution. What people are experiencing now, we probably would want to be talking about the information revolution.
When I was a junior, I was taking a class and our professor was like, we are going to communicate with another college class in Sweden. And we were like, how are we going to do that? So we all went to the computer lab, stared at this black screen, and we typed in like C. I remember thinking this. How do you do why do you do this thing? And remember, why would anybody do this? Get this called AOL and every thing. Didn't do this. and she had this thing called AOL. And there was this thinking this but that is black screen and typed in like C : backslash all numbers. I remember thinking why would anybody do this? And she had this thing called AOL, and there was this dial-up internet thing, and it was like burp, 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 burp. And then all of a sudden she's in this chat room.
So what's everyone up to today?
Well, Linda Emerson called and she asked if Dasha and Peter could help Andrew and Lisa learn about the internet.
What's a web page? Something ducks walk on? Ha ha, very funny.
And frankly, I remember there being almost nothing to do once you were online. It seemed really cool, and then you had no idea what to do.
It didn't feel life-changing until I think much later than that.
And particularly over the last 20 years, we've just seen this explosion of innovation and new technology.
I do remember the first time somebody said, "You've never Googled something?" And I was like, "What's Google?"
Yahoo meetups. I think they came before MySpace.
Facebook was born like the week our oldest son was born. So when we look at him with his adolescent awkwardness, like that's how old Facebook is.
My kids are way better at using apps and mobile devices now than I am.
Kids are so intuitive with like the mobile devices.
They can pick up any mobile device and it's so intuitive. They know exactly what to do with it.
Just pick it up and just be like, okay, there you go. And you're just like, what did you do?
I've seen kids run circles around parents.
No, I had in-house tech help when I need it. Technology moves quickly. It's like the Wild West.
I try to keep up with the latest.
By the time I'm aware of what it is, they've gone on to the next one.
How do you keep up? It's something new every day.
It's exhausting. You can't just like, okay, I got to vet all this and vet all this.
I am not currently on any social media.
The use of phones has just ramped up.
I wouldn't even know how to navigate.
Everything is going crazy.
It's very difficult to opt out.
It's already too late. The train has already left the station.
I feel like I can make it
there.
And aside in the spirit of innovation.
Right now we're effectively living in an experiment. Does this affect us? We'll find out with the current generation.
I will tell you that I'm probably going to be dead and gone, and I'll probably be thankful for it when all this comes to fruition, because I think that this scares me to death.
Imagine just the stuff we're experiencing in our little sector of YouTube, you guys. If that becomes the norm, like predator catching content has picked up. That's not talked about enough. The fact of they're so easy, like you would think with all the potential people out there, or not people, fucking predators that could be caught up, or these trolls could use this type of investigation and research and stuff instead of twisting and trying to get over on one and see what they say is L's. Like, expose these creeps. I mean, even if it seems like that you can't do something that, hell, anything else. I guess that's why I was so clueless, was because I was just so used to the algorithm of YouTube of, the most drama related content I ever got onto was like bigger YouTubers with huge audiences that Grade A talked about. And it was only just a very little bit. That content was not interesting to me then. But had I gotten more and explored more into it, maybe, you never know. Jeez. This is a really
The internet is awesome. It's a great place. People use it for work. People use it for art. People use it for socializing.
For me, I don't know. It's just fun to take cool pictures and just show them off to the world.
I like
But like any tool, it can be used for bad. It can look more or less. It's something that, like, unintentionally can be negative. And you know what? Right now, I mean, in a way, and not in a way, it can be viewed as like what I'm going through is pointless and wrong, and it is in a way.
checking up on people from like that I haven't talked to since like the 5th grade.
Or ways, I guess.
Don't get to see them for like a month. You can talk to them over FaceTime.
Staying connected, sharing photos, and being support to one another.
My partner calls it SMS parenting because I just text them.
Of course, the educational opportunities.
Having the internet at my disposal, I can search anything.
What did I have? I have the World Book encyclopedia.
Just feeling a sense of security and safety with the ability for the location tracking feature.
Yeah, it's like letting everyone know where we are and stuff to make sure everyone's safe.
Or if he's at a friend's house, I could call. Are their parents home?
It's actually been a way that we can keep track of them out there in the real world where things really are scary.
Pros and cons. Pros and cons.
Do you think the dangers online are more prevalent or dangers in real life are more prevalent?
I think I'm still more afraid of the real world.
I think my primary concerns did tend to be physical.
Any situation where they cannot physically defend themselves,
then
that's number one for me.
Yeah.
That's scary to me. And that's everything outside of that side of the house.
I really wasn't allowed to walk around the street. I couldn't ride my bike around my street. I mean, I'm a senior in high school. I still can't sleep over.
Like, we couldn't do that now. We couldn't just walk down the street and like go to a restaurant. I mean, that's just not really that safe.
Not worrying about being kidnapped or even
Yeah. Many parents today worry about physical danger of their children than they do online danger for their kids because it's something that they relate to.
Is what is really asking for trouble. Power or telephone. Here's one. I'll ask Neil and
teaching physical danger and things like look when you cross the street and be careful who you talk to and things like that.
All of those things parents heard when they were growing up. And so that's something that they can hold on to. It's a fear that they remember. Whereas everything online, oftentimes it's so far out of what they can imagine because they're not using the technology the same way that kids are, that they can't even wrap their brain around it enough to know what to be afraid of.
The greater danger is definitely mental versus physical in this world. I see it. The biggest issues that have come up with our kids have all been mental.
We've already been introduced to sexuality, cyberbullying, marketing and persuasion. The dangers for my kids that are more present are way more mental and emotional.
I think parents are aware that there are mental dangers out there, but I feel like we're constantly, as parents, you just tend to think that probably won't happen to my kid.
Statistically speaking, our world is much safer outside in the neighborhood. Those physical dangers are much less likely to happen than the dangers that we're seeing online.
I remember in 5th grade, like I saw all my friends slowly like starting to get phones, and I was like, well,
It was about 7th grade. 7th for me.
To text my friends. I want to be able to like do like
I remember
fun.
we would be on the phone for me and my friend, first name and A. We would be on the phone for hours. Like an hour and a half or something on 3-way sometimes and stuff with another.
Things on your phone, like it's a fun thing.
When Annabelle was 5, I gave
Nokia.
them their first iPod.
I was 11 when I started feeling pressured. Like even before that, people had cell phones.
Kids are ostracized. By the time they hit middle school, they go in 6th grade. Almost everyone has a phone, and if you don't have a phone,
then it's almost like a bullying thing.
You can do better than your peers if you have access to some social media that allows you to engage and know when things are happening and that you don't miss out. Peers judge other peers by their knowledge of what's happening.
Certainly in the last 5 years, we've seen kids' usage of devices continue to increase. We've also seen kids getting devices younger and younger. The rates at which they're experiencing certain types of problems continues to increase.
I'm Kellyanne. I have worked in multiple different areas with teens, Children's Hospital, a nonprofit. I met these group of girls when they were freshmen, and I have been with them now for 4 years, so they're seniors. They have access to me 24/7. Like, what's the max amount you think in one day in the past 3 years? Like, if you had picked the one day you spent the most time on your phone, how long do you think it was?
Oh, I'd say 18
hours?
maybe.
Say 5. The last 2 months, it's been 8, 9.
10, 11 hours a day.
Yeah, maybe like 12.
So in the past 10 years or so, the time that they're spending on it has skyrocketed. On average, maybe 7 hours a day. It's a lot of time when you also have to do school and sleep and eat. 7 hours a day is like a work shift.
There's a lot to do on your phone. Like, you can text people, you can play games, take videos, like take pictures. Like, there's a lot to do.
We've always had these things that captured our attention, but there is a certain level of precision with which today's technology hones in on our neurology and the way that we are wired.
Social media and other internet platforms make their money by keeping users engaged, and so they've hired the greatest engineering and tech minds to get users to stay longer inside of their apps and on their websites.
I use Instagram, Snapchat.
And TikTok.
2 Instagram accounts.
I can just scroll for hours on end.
I use Instagram, Twitter.
Instagram, definitely.
My favorite Snapchat.
Like, if I was to delete Snapchat, like, I don't think I would like hang out.
I don't know what's going on with Snapchat.
There's stuff called TikTok.
The social media games like TikTok and Fortnite.
Yeah, I look up from my phone after being there for 15 minutes and spend like an hour.
Scrolling through Instagram.
And then I end up watching other people's videos for like 5 hours on end.
Watch Netflix for time and then like go off Netflix, check Snapchat, check Instagram, go back on Netflix.
What I really do when I'm not online is kind of just sit on my ass and like eat.
I call it the race to the bottom of the brainstem. So it starts with techniques like pull to refresh. So you pull to refresh your newsfeed. That operates like a slot machine. It has the same kind of addictive qualities that keep people in Las Vegas hooked.
One of the central issues of Skinner's philosophy of behaviorism is that just like the pigeon, man is a predictable animal. Gambling systems have a schedule that we call variable ratio that explains why people gamble. The psychoanalysts say people gamble to hurt themselves, to destroy themselves. Other people say they do gamble for the excitement and so on. But nonsense. You gamble because there is a certain schedule built into the gambling device or system as in a horse race. The same schedule will make a pathological gambler out of a pigeon as well as out of a person.
It's interesting raising kids 5 years apart. You know, John could leave his phone. Raising
Make a info for the equal cycle have a schedule just like the pigeon, man. The central issues of Skinner.
See, this is the stuff now, and this is another reason why. Just a little insight about Scientology. Side note: the cult masquerading as a religion. L. Ron Hubbard believed that because psychologists knew, like, you have to understand, psychology is like, you know, study of the psyche and psychiatry and all that's kind of all intertwined. And he believed they knew so much about lesser animals that they thought they could control over, you know. And when you're seeing stuff like this, I mean, I didn't, that's the first time I'd seen that. Like, I didn't know that, I don't know what that pigeon experiment was. I'm going to have to look deeper into that, see, because that's basically, he believed that they, that because of all their, like, all their study on the mind, that they really believed they were experts on the mind. And this was a catch-22, you see, like, in fact, the opposite was true, because, and in essence, what they were doing was they were enslaving mankind. You know, it was all the psychs, and if you listen to one of his old lectures.
His philosophy of behaviorism is that just like the pigeon, man is a predictable animal. Gambling systems have a schedule that we call variable ratio.
Variable ratio.
That explains why people gamble. The psychoanalysts say people gamble to hurt themselves, destroy themselves. Other people say they do gamble for the excitement and so on. But nonsense. You gamble because there's a certain schedule built into the gambling device or system as in a horse race. This same schedule will make a pathological gambler out of a pigeon as well as out of a person.
It's interesting raising kids 5 years apart. You know, John could leave his phone sitting somewhere away. We've noticed that Jack's generation is of kids, they can't do that. They're so completely tied to their phone and they don't even know life without a telephone.
Typically when I get bored, I do pick up my phone. I tend to switch apps every 30 seconds to a minute.
They will.
So in operant conditioning, operant conditioning is a learning process that uses rewards and punishments to modify voluntary behaviors. It's also known as instrumental conditioning or Skinnerian conditioning. That guy's name was Skinner. B.F. Skinner coined in 1937 rats and pigeons to determine organisms learn through operant conditioning. These experiments took place in an operant conditioning chamber known as a Skinner box. Uses rewards and punishments to modify behavior. Okay, so basically rewarding behavior, okay, I get that. So that's the system that gambling's done off, and that's as simple as it is. It's not because one person. Okay. And so the idea,
Literally not
I get where they're going. It's basically the same thing with these apps, social media, and all this.
Their brains before they got off the device.
When we think about traditional drug use, we know that the AIDS
Every 30 get bored, I do.
Tied to their phone and they don't even know life without a telephone.
Typically when I get bored, I do pick up my phone. I tend to switch apps every 30 seconds to a minute.
They will literally melt their brains before they got off the device.
when we think about traditional drug use, we know that the age of first use, the earlier it happens, the greater likelihood for addiction. And so think about, with children, their brain is developing, and if they are not having balance in how they're using this, and it's developing at a younger age, I just, question how that will continue to impact them for years to come.
Young folks tend to have their reward sensitivity and their social sensitivity develop much earlier than their ability to regulate these areas in their brain. Throughout childhood, the brain experiences rapid maturation. It begins in areas responsible for basic perception. Front of the brain, that's the areas that are responses to social and really develop into the 20s.
My biggest fear is when they get older that they never put those things down, and that they're so disinterested with connecting with other people, like in person, that it negatively affects them.
Really just don't know how to get there. One of the greatest consequences of screen time addiction is just the lack of social development, social skills development, being able to connect with other people.
And we're seeing a lot more of that as we are becoming more aware of what social media does to our ability to have empathy and to interact with others and to see their social cues, understand their social cues, and react accordingly. We're seeing the difference that it's making, but the kids aren't.
The disconnect of even just he with his friends. I mean, it is how they connect, but how connected are they if they're all getting depressed? And
well, if they don't have anything to compare it with, like you said, we have a comparison because we grew up differently, because we didn't even have the option.
We're incredibly social creatures. That's actually what separates us, not our intelligence, but our ability to work together in communities, to human. Devoted towards just understanding moment to moment. The social signals that come very rapidly are incredibly important to us, even if in them we're not totally realizing how important social signals are.
What do you guys say that you struggle or have
But
Depression.
Yeah,
Yeah.
too.
Don't.
Yes, definitely. I have an entire friend group who has latched onto each other due to their connection with depression.
Oh shit.
Anxiety and depression. I can't pinpoint whether or not it has anything to do with their device.
He's addicted to some games. I'm addicted to some games. Sometimes when we don't get it, we cry, we throw a fit.
I noticed that my
Well, I mean, that's pretty reflective for that young lad to say, we're addicted to the games, and when we don't get them, we have fits. I mean, that's
anxiety ramps up when I'm on my phone more, but not from like any specific thing, just kind of the more time I spend in my head, the worse off I get.
A statement that I've been making at my talks with high schoolers is, don't you all just sort of feel like every moment of every single day, we're all living in a state of low-grade anxiety? And they all just kind of look at me like, yeah.
So we are seeing many more kids coming to school with diagnoses of anxiety and depression. And we also know that the teen suicide rate from 2010 to 2017 increased 56%.
My day-to-day life
God.
in the ER over the last 20 years, I think there's been two very palpable changes. One is childhood obesity, and the other is mental health issues in terms of the volume and the frequency.
I have personally seen a difference in the number of children who are coming to the ER with mental health issues, with non-suicidal self-harming and suicide attempts and suicidal ideation.
His demeanor with me and his temperament, everything is different after he's had hours of gaming or something with a friend.
Sometimes I feel like I want to give it up, but it's such a big part of teenage life, I guess you could say, that I just couldn't.
A lot of like our lives are on our phones, like texting our friends, like that's on our phones. Like we have to be on it if we want to like talk to our friends.
And like our school actually gives us information through social media. So it's kind of just like, it goes hand in hand that you will be using social media and have a phone.
The lives of kids were sort of changing slowly for a while. And then all of a sudden, smartphones were easy to get. Social media was easy to get.
2011, the year I was supposed to graduate.
Most people were able to afford that. Most kids were able to get on social media, and that's when everything kind of skyrocketed.
I'm addicted to my iPad.
I'm addicted.
But adults, not just teenagers, are also addicted to their phones.
Parents are the primary determinant as to how a kid uses technology. In other words, if we want our kids to be consuming technology differently, then we first need to look in the mirror and ask ourselves, would we want them using their technology exactly how I do?
The race for attention has to get more and more aggressive. And so it's not enough just to get your behavior and predict what will take your behavior. We have to predict how to keep you hooked in a different way. And so it crawled deeper down the brainstem into our social validation. So that was the introduction of likes and followers.
I post a lot. I used to I almost have a mental schedule, okay,
For people when saying that they don't care about, likes and all that, I mean, you're lying to yourself in all actuality, scientifically speaking, and you're saying it because you think socially it makes you not average or a sheep type.
Each month I'll post and I'll edit the picture and make it look really good. Now I just kind of post when I want to, and I definitely delete posts that don't get a lot of likes. I like to have a lot of likes on my posts. Just to it just makes you feel good.
You feel better when people are yeah, you're looking good, but then at other times you feel horrible because people aren't liking your post, but you can see they looked at it. No, I don't care.
Now take that and let's put targeted shit with
I mean, it sucks when my art
absence of actual legitimate viewers in the chat, whatever, etc., trolls.
Didn't get a whole lot of likes.
They call each other and say, "Hey, do me a favor, like my picture. I need more likes on my."
It's really easy for you to be oh, look at this other girl, like she got this many more likes, like her body is this much nicer.
Are they chasing likes? Are they, as some young people,
What gets the most
in real life? The social feedback is literally rewarding when it's positive, and it's literally punishing when it's negative.
Ms. Stanfield, I was a little confused by one thing you said. Did you say Google doesn't use persuasive technology?
That is correct, sir.
what gets the most likes?
More skin, more likes.
Yeah. Girls in bathing suits.
You have to sexualize yourself, or you have to post a bikini pic or something that's revealing in order to get a lot of likes.
The more attractive you are, more likes you get. Hot girls get a lot of likes.
Parents' day and age, you couldn't get on your phone and be like, oh my gosh, look at Kim Kardashian's life. We have the ability to compare ourselves with other people.
We weren't really worried about what we were wearing because everybody in the whole world wasn't watching us. The pressure to maintain the perfect image online is huge. On the flip side, if they post something and either don't get likes or get poor comments, then it's hit with depression.
But you know what you look like. You can see yourself. You don't need
yeah, but it's not how you look like this. It's like how you look like.
Prepared to be captured by something and be shown to the world.
A man feels free if he believes he is free, and he will believe he is free if he is conditioned by positive reinforcement to think so.
What the fuck?
School, or like you get a ton of likes, they'll be your friend. They don't care what you're like.
Are you gonna be on my side if I let you up?
Growing up, because as soon as I get home, everyone goes to their room and the devices come out, and everything that was horrible about what just happened
Our bullying did not go in front of the whole world on social media. To them, it feels like it went out to the whole world.
Personally, like I don't really get those. Well,
Where are the safe places for a kid growing up? Because as soon as I get home, everyone goes to their room and the devices come out, and everything that was horrible about what just happened is shared over and over and over again.
By 6th grade, he was like bullying me on Instagram, and my friends were telling me, and I had no means to defend myself.
Well, honestly, I do think it's worse to be bullied online because you don't know who you're talking to.
Big picture, he was bullied in a lot of different ways. And part of the way that also showed up was through text message.
You know, it was in person in school, in the classroom, divide and conquer, as well as cyber. And so it was coming at him from all angles.
And it would never shut off. But the cyber stuff, so I would block Kid A and block Kid B, and they would give Ethan's number. Then they started texting Gavin. They had Gavin's ID, and messages were coming in through. Gavin was 6 at the time. They were relentless.
He was the target.
It was relentless.
When I finally did get a phone in 7th grade, it got bad because I also got Snapchat around the same time. And so I could now see what he was posting about me.
Every kid sees this happening. It's hitting a much larger and broader audience than it ever used to. You know, and sometimes people pile on.
It's another thing when the bully gets 25 people on a text thread and it's all directed at you. It's a different scale and it's a different time.
It's an amplifier for the worst parts of us. Let's take an example like Twitter. It's calculating what is the thing that I can show you that gets the most engagement. And it turns out that outrage, moral outrage, gets the most engagement. So it was found in a study that for every word of moral outrage that you add to a tweet, it increases your retweet rate by 17%.
If they didn't have tech, I swear they would have a black eye every day.
There are just so many more channels through which I can be a complete jerk that don't involve me being in front of you, which is the great neutralizer of cruelty. Because if I see you and I look you in the eye, we tend to treat each other differently.
He was having a really difficult time. He was very agitated. And it had to do with his phone. And I couldn't understand because we found some text messages on it that concerned me. And I asked him about it, and I took the phone from him. And We talked, we shared some tears, and I said, really, son, what's going on here?
A couple days after Christmas, the stomach pains got so bad we had to go to the emergency room. I was convinced he had appendicitis. He was in so much pain. He threw up 2 or 3 times. His blood work's good. This is weird. Like, we don't know. And I knew in that moment it was anxiety. I knew it. We got him through the other side, but there was a place there where it was so dark. I thought, this is it. This is that tipping moment where we lost our kid.
You know, certainly there's an element that kids need to learn resilience, and they need to understand that people are not always going to agree with them, and they may even tease them. And there's an element that that's okay, because we can't train kids to expect that they will always be shielded from any negative thing in their life. That said, it's important for a parent to know where in the spectrum it is for your child relative to where they are in their developmental cycle.
So it's definitely there. It's definitely there, but I'm certain it's probably more behind people's backs nowadays.
Cyberbullying is definitely, like Charlie said, a lot more subtle than people like to make it out to be.
So what happens when somebody takes somebody off Instagram?
Oh, it's a big thing.
It's a big deal.
It's like, you know, when you block somebody on Instagram, like you can tell, like we all know the signs of like when somebody blocks you on Instagram, and it's like a big thing because, you know, this person doesn't like you anymore.
That group photo where I don't tag that one girl. That parents may not pick up on that, but that is a subtle way of saying, I'm not going to tag you, or I'm not going to like that photo, or whatever it might be. We've attached worth to those things. And that's a little subtle jab that kids are doing all the time. I see it, I hear it.
What about the constant awareness that you're not invited to something or you're being left out?
I hate that. Nothing makes me more
affects someone over years and years, and slowly changes the way they think.
How easy was pornography to come across?
Oh boy.
Yeah, oh boy. It was super easy.
Like, Mom, Dad, don't watch this.
I know.
I had a trunk and I had ways to hide it, and we have different methods of finding it.
We all congregated at this one guy's house because he had a VHS tape that had something on it that had been recorded from Cinemax.
Let's go up to your uncle, go to the bathroom up there. We take a Playboy in there, put him in a thing, run down the alley and look at it.
She brought out a few magazines.
Quick, you can look real quick. Oh, somebody's coming.
Look at this. And it was a Playboy magazine. And I was like, good night. What are they doing?
And we thought, this is our moment.
You had to be MacGyver to, like, you know, to get it, hold it, keep it.
But they had those sex hotlines that you could call.
Oh yeah, the 1-900.
They would like advertise it on the late night TV.
But this was, again, a plan, like a detailed plan that had to be enacted.
There was no other way to get access to this sort of thing.
In the 50s, we had pinup girls, Bridget Bardot, Marilyn Monroe. In the 60s, we had girly magazines. And then in the 80s, we had VHS. And then there were chat rooms with webcams. And now we have cell phones in kids' hands.
All the physical barriers, be it physical location, right? Be it proximity, all those sorts of things, be it people, maybe they had access to it, right? None of those barriers exist anymore.
I mean, it's completely different now. I mean, it is like, it's all video, and it's all, I mean, watching XXX videos are a lot different than looking at a Playboy magazine.
Australian study that found that about half of children ages 8 to 16 had exposure to pornography, and many of those were actively seeking it out.
27%, if you look at the unfiltered internet, 27% of all video content on the unfiltered internet is pornographic or explicit in some way. If I imagine every day growing up, there was a coffee table in my living room, and there were 4 magazines on that coffee table. One of them was pornographic and 3 of them weren't. And my parents just hoped every day that I didn't look at the wrong one. That is what the unfiltered internet is for kids today. We have put little boxes of porn in their pockets under the guise of safety, under the guise of overprotection, under the guise of I have to get in touch with my kid all the time, every day, 24/7. We have given them access to pornography that far exceeds anything that we ever were exposed to.
What about porn? Do guys all watch porn?
Okay, I didn't even realize that, but pretty much every guy has like an addiction to it, but no one talks about it. So say I'm like talking to them about it, and I'll be like, oh, like does that guy do it too? And they're like, yeah, and I'm like, that sweet innocent boy watches it too, like everyone does.
Like everyone watches it.
How many guys and girls do you guys know that watch porn?
I'd say all guys, pretty much.
I think I know one guy in my school. I think I've talked to one that I can confidently say hasn't, and nobody else.
You know, it's very prevalent, and like everybody knows it.
They watch porn for fun. They don't even watch it for any sexual release. They just watch it to watch it.
Do you think parents really have any clue of how significant of an issue pornography is in kids?
They're pretty clueless.
Yeah.
Right?
In 2019, porn sites received more traffic than Amazon, Twitter, and Netflix combined each month. 26% of adolescents aged 13 to 17 actively seek out pornography.
What's
what weekly percentage? Or more.
It is on every platform, even the platforms that parents think it's not on. Just for example, Twitter, which is one that most adults probably use. They probably know Twitter.
Snapchat is where explicit content on Pornhub lives just seconds away from every user through backdoors within the app. The app knowingly allows a well-documented list of porn performers to make thousands of dollars daily through their premium Snap accounts.
The people behind pornography know how to optimize their content for search terms.
Pornographers, any new technology that comes out, they immediately saturate it. They know about it before, as it's getting ready to come out, and they are ready with every strategy to saturate it.
What age did like watching porn become common?
I'd say 7th grade.
Yeah, middle school.
9th and 10th grade, I remember guys being like, yeah, like I had an issue in 7th grade, and I'm like, I'm sorry, what?
What I say to parents is it's time for every parent on earth to leave the ignorance of the land of if and embrace the reality of when.
The film we'll see this morning will give the answers to these questions. It will also show the earliest phases of growth, as well as the changes that take place during childhood and adolescence.
So when my parents were addressing the birds and the bees with me, there was no conversation.
I walked out more confused after the conversation than when it started.
We don't talk about those things at all.
No, sex. Wait.
It's absolutely normal to be curious about sexuality. It's normal to be interested.
Don't have sex, because you will get pregnant and die. Just don't do it, promise? Okay, everybody take some rubbers.
My dad had conversations with me when I was a teenage girl. Like I asked him, and he was very blunt and just told me.
Do you think kids are using pornography as sex education?
Yeah. Because I feel like they don't want to like talk to like a parent or like a guy.
And it's just terrible.
Let's move forward with that.
I didn't know what to do with that. And we could talk a long time about what that did to me later in life and what that did to distort just my views of sex and intimacy, even as a young adult and as a married.
Boys' minds.
It just leads to guys objectifying women a lot, and then they forget about the whole relationship part, and that's all they think of now is just sex, because that's all they've seen.
I know we've been talking about like a lot of like guys are like into pornography, but like a lot of girls are too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I don't even think parents have like the birds and the bees talk anymore, because kids will know about it by the time they're like 8 if they have access to social media.
Yeah.
It's just honestly effed up.
But it's just faster now, and it's younger.
20% of youth report that they came across it, children, that it was unwanted.
But we can now be in different places, and we're in a group chat and somebody shares it. Everybody's got it if they open it.
And in the elementary schools that I'm in, I typically hear counselors saying, yeah, we've got kids that are already seeking that out and in the elementary school age.
Sex is not something that is easy to talk about with your kid at any age, but it's something that you absolutely have to talk about, and at a younger age than you might think, because even if he couldn't access pornography on his personal device or through our home, cable, somebody on the bus probably could.
feel neurologically compelled to do. He held on to the iPad at this sleepover and then proceeded to practice that pornography on her son. That was when he was 9 years old. To practice that pornography on her son.
What?
That was when he was 9 years old. It took him quite well. And this proceeded to tell me her son was 11 years old, but when he was 9 years old, he went to sleep over at a friend's house, a family that they knew quite well. And this son, his friend, showed him pornography, hardcore, really horrible stuff on the iPad at this sleepover, and then proceeded to practice that pornography on her son. That was when he was 9 years old. Okay, fast forward 2 years. He's now 11. He's never told anybody about this. But mom has noticed that my son just isn't happy anymore. And she sat down and had a conversation with him and found out through this conversation that for 2 years he had held on to this secret. And then he felt so much shame and guilt that there was something wrong with him, that he did something wrong. And so for 2 years, he held on to this corrosive secret that started on an iPad. The number one common denominator of those who abuse other kids is an early exposure to pornography. Because what they see, they feel neurologically compelled to do.
Man, fucked up, dude. God dang.
Or like just groups of people. Now, after you finish 4-H, they had what they call real youth, and that's how I met my husband. We would meet once a month and maybe have a dance, or a lot of us square dancing.
Everybody knows what it is. Everyone knows sexting's a thing.
My school.
Ages of 12 and older. I've been.
Do they send nudes? It's like just girls' nudes, just like just random people.
All the guys
and you could, yeah, exactly. And there was like a list of like all the people that had accessed it, and like it was even like people that you wouldn't think really like good guys that you wouldn't think would like engage in that kind of stuff. But some girls had no idea that their pictures were like out in the open for everyone.
All of these naked pictures and videos guys get from girls they went to high school with. They're in their college dorm. They go on A9IB and they trade them like Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
This girl that I grew up with, she had a sex tape actually, and it was leaked. I remember even I, who didn't even go there, had access to it, but it was sent around, and we were freshmen.
One of my most hated terms is not my kid.
Parents suffer from a disease called the NMK syndrome. It's described as not my kid.
My kid won't do that. My kid would never. My kid's friends aren't like that. My kid's school isn't like that. You're wrong. Everybody's community is like that. Every school is like that. Every kid has the potential to do any one of the things that we're talking about here. No, even my own kid.
With you, run away.
It's always like a van.
A
white
van,
a dude
yeah,
in a van.
with no windows.
You know, don't ever get into a car. Or don't know, looking at pictures of me.
When it comes to Tumblr, a lot of people like follow me for my stuff, and that's cool. I like to have them follow me, but also there's sometimes people that I don't know that follow me.
I friend a lot of people. I would just join
He
games.
just friends random
people. I would just join games for no reason and just go friend.
Braxton does end up, I'll be in there and he's on the headphones playing Xbox, and I'm like, who are you playing with? And he'll be like, I don't know, some kid.
Have you ever gotten creepy DMs from guys?
Yeah, all the time. Have you been solicited by any creeps online? Like, have you?
Yeah. He was contacted by a stranger on Instagram.
Oh, like I saw your page and like I'm really like I'm interested in like sending you money for like in exchange for pictures.
I had people like DM me saying that I'm so beautiful and like he'll buy me whatever I want.
So we at BARC unfortunately detect issues around online child predation very frequently. Last year alone, we escalated 450 online child predators to law enforcement. And so we know that it's a common problem. Unfortunately, we think most parents underestimate the commonality of that problem.
We decided to go undercover as multiple children on social media and post innocuous content to see what would happen. We had to be very intentional with everything we did. We had to create personas. They had to have believable date of births, and we had to know everything about the city that they lived in, and we had to create storylines, and we worked closely with law enforcement.
And basically just pushed go. We put everything live, and we documented what happened.
Within the first hour of posting on Libby's accounts, 7 adult men contacted her. By the end of 9 days, that number was 92. The conversations ranged in severity, from making sexual comments to sharing and requesting explicit photos and videos to manipulation and threats.
Oh my God.
We had to deploy an entire team, around the clock to responding, because the rate at which these messages came in was mind-boggling. And of course, when you're dealing with social media and the internet, it's a global thing. It's not just an East Coast thing or a US-based thing. There were men that wanted to talk to children for nefarious purposes at all hours of the day and night.
We tried it with younger personas as well, even an 11-year-old.
Oh my God.
We launched our 11-year-old persona online.
It's 4:44 and go. One like from a guy whose profile photo is a penis.
So
let's say
1 minute and 7 seconds. We have a message request.
Although sorry, 2 more requests just came in. How much time? A minute and 40 seconds?
Yeah.
How
old are you? You go to the profile, you know that is a child. It also says in the profile that the child is in 6th grade.
Another one.
It's just lighting up. Like the inbox is just boom, 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 boom.
Whoa.
An incoming video call in less than 5 minutes.
Oh my God.
I can't see you. Don't be shy.
They all say don't be shy.
This happens to all types of children. This is not just kids who might be at risk. Oftentimes it's a child who's simply bored in their bedroom at night.
And I cannot tell you how many children I see in their bedrooms on live stream with tons of people just watching them, asking them to do certain things.
When parents allow their kids to have that device in their rooms at night, where are your parents? These then come the grooming question. Where are your parents? Are you on an iPhone or are you on an iPad? What school are you? What are you wearing? Oh, your makeup looks so beautiful.
It's not uncommon for grooming behavior to include showing minors images of pornography to help them to think that is normal. And then that can be a progression towards
see something, a body part or a live video, and then you might not hear from them again. But there are others. They use psychological strategies to methodically groom children by forming a friendship, by showing care. And then it escalates into more of a controlling relationship.
Wow. Oh, okay.
Sexual abuse. Between 2017 and 2018, video files reported to NCMEC increased 541%. We're seeing reports with graphic and violent sexual images of young children, including infants, and reports of on-demand sexual abuse known as live streaming.
Unfortunately, some of those were people who wanted to actually meet the child in person, which could have been just because they wanted to have sex with a minor. And sometimes we believe that it was because they might be part of a sex trafficking ring wanting to actually traffic the child.
It was a tough decision, but if Keith wanted to meet Libby in person, we would let him.
Oh my God.
Oh, hi. Good. How are you? Nice to meet you too. I've never done anything like this before, so I'm a little nervous.
This is the first for everything.
Yeah.
Don't be. I'm not gonna rush you. We can just go upstairs and talk.
Are you okay with me being 15?
I've never done it. But it's okay.
The project has also resulted in numerous arrests, and that's great. Unfortunately, it's a drop in the bucket.
The average internet predator has 250 victims in their lifetime. One person has that many victims in their lifetime if they're not caught. So what happens in the law enforcement arena, that cops are not getting this technology training.
The problem is so big. I mean, we would need to employ so many more officers trained in dealing with this issue.
When you're a law enforcement professional and you're looking at more cases than you can ever possibly get to, unfortunately, a lot of those get triaged so low that they never actually get investigated. And so, unfortunately, that allows predators to keep doing exactly what they're doing without as much consequence.
I think about how I would have felt as a young, impressionable child. I would have kept the abuses to myself for fear of being shamed and blamed. I would have suffered with it secretly and quietly.
It's important really to never start that process, because as a child, once you're in it, it's very hard to get out of it. Very hard to come forward and tell your parent, this is what's happening to me.
Do you think your parents know that this happens?
Oh, no. I wouldn't be allowed to have a phone. Oh, if they knew what was going on, it would be stripped.
And so if you, as a parent or caregiver, can be an open, honest, soft place for your child to come and say, hey, look.
Wow, there's just so much in this to take away. I know I'm skipping forward through some parts because it's just.
But there wasn't much money. And in
We
that
still screaming?
middle of that
Yeah,
time,
we're
we
still
had
alive.
we'd had the tragedy. We lost my older sister died of pneumonia, and talk about the good old days. But we didn't have the medical care back then that we have now. And then in the following February, my mother had my little sister, Carolina, and she had a heart defect and couldn't be saved. So my parents lost 2 children in less than a year.
Oh, I'm sorry, hon. God, that really still, man, doesn't just shows you it doesn't
Sure.
matter how much time.
Jack is, I have 2 boys,
Young and
John and Jack. Jack's younger
I'm
of the 2.
sorry.
John's 21. Jack was 15. Jack was a very outgoing, typical teenage.
Was there much talk of, do you remember there being suicides or anything like that?
Never. I never have heard that. We were worried. We were more worried about physical illnesses, but I don't remember there being a problem with suicide.
I've always liked technology, and I will say that it was hard to keep up with it, but I would stay up sometimes very late trying to figure out what my son was doing on his phone and figuring out how to use all the same apps that he used, so that I never got behind on that.
Definitely the worst day of my life was getting that phone call from my parents.
I'm sorry.
He didn't do it on purpose, and he didn't do it to hurt us. He was just in a lot of pain.
I'm sorry. I hate that.
Jack struggled for 9 days in the hospital. And then after about 6 weeks, we were able to crack his phone.
Someone said that there was, some stuff on sale at Home Depot that would help you basically off yourself. And other kids would just come right out and say, text, just go kill yourself. And then this is not uncommon. It's not the first kid that's had that happen to him.
Why did I not know what anxiety was, and why do you know?
I guess they've been a little bit better about. But even then, they only made it known to us after 4 kids killed themselves.
That's true. In Littleton alone,
at the beginning of the year, there were multiple suicides before school even started.
At Children's Hospital, there is a new program for 10-year-olds and over, and they say, have you ever thought about killing yourself? Have you ever tried to hurt yourself? How do you feel about that?
So I work in one of the busiest pediatric emergency departments in the country. At any given time, we can easily have 4 or 5, sometimes 6 patients who are there waiting for mental health evaluation or waiting to be transferred for inpatient treatment.
You hear from the CDC that suicide is the second leading cause of death in children ages 10 to 24.
Colorado, suicide is the #1 cause of death for individuals 10 to 24.
And every day we send out, over a dozen imminent suicide alerts every single day.
It was such a rare occurrence to see that. Now it is commonplace. Has something changed about us biologically?
From 2000 and 2007, the suicide rate seemed was pretty stable and had, if anything, some years fluctuated down. But then we saw a beginning trend, and it became evident over time that it was increasing from 2010.
Right around between 2011, 2012,
And to 2017.
Remember how the Mayan calendar and how they said that was going to be a change and an end? And everyone thought maybe, end of the world. It's always, but I think it was an end to an old way of the world or how things were.
Teen suicide, but child suicide.
Like I talked about in my one
10 or
community
9
post
years
about the
old.
cycles relating to the spirit, and the spirit being a certain vibrational frequency energy. Excuse me.
I said, all right, sure, what do you got? He goes, well, Friday night, I had 2 10-year-olds on Snapchat. One thought it'd be a funny idea to talk the other one into committing suicide.
What?
And she did it. She's dead.
Good God.
So 43% of 1.12 million children that presented to the ERs for suicidal ideation or suicide attempt were under 11 years old.
Whether these young adults think that they're not worth anything, I guess, I don't know, but people can't deal with things now.
But I feel like a lot of people in our generation are way more sensitive than they should be. If one insignificance happens, it'll just trigger every past thing that's happened in their life.
There's always a competition. Like with school, you're competing for the best rank. With social media, there's this unspoken, I guess, kind of competition for most followers in a sense. If you're losing that competition, it hurts. It shows, you feel it in your heart.
Constantly comparing myself to others. Constantly, wanting that thing or needing to be checking or not falling behind on notifications or whatever kinds of stresses are attached to that. But then you couple that with the fact that I just don't know how to deal with anything coming my way. And I just think at times for some kids, it's just a toxic combination.
Suicide is always the result of many factors. As we are not teaching kids as many skills to self-regulate and deal with difficult emotions, well, one thing that a device can be is a great way to distract.
Not being able to have my phone for a week, definitely, I would get really bored, and I feel like I would be stressed out.
Typically when I get bored, I do pick up my phone.
I have people to talk to, but they got bored.
I don't know. It's just something that I do when I'm bored.
Oftentimes it's a child who's simply bored.
Yeah, I'm pretty much bored.
I get so bored.
Sometimes when I'm bored.
Because they were bored and they're bored.
Boredom.
He is so bored. My mindset's got worse and worse just because I felt so unproductive and I wasn't doing anything. And I felt like that's pretty common. Most kids are bored, cooped up, and feel unproductive.
At 12, here again, I was helping my dad. We're still milking cows. We were still raising hogs, carrying water. We still didn't have electricity. I had to have the tractor gassed up, everything hooked up and ready to go. I mowed their lawns, some housework for those folks. I didn't even know we were bored.
And if we continually interrupt that boredom with distraction with screens, I think that we are removing kids' abilities to deal with their own thoughts. And then that carries the risk then of being in a situation where parents are fixing everything. And you combine that with situations in high school where parents have fixed everything. I've not been taught how to deal with my own thoughts. Life is kind of hard. I have no idea what to do with this.
Yep.
I think I'm still more afraid of the real world.
When the kids are outside, I don't give them freedom.
I really wasn't allowed to walk around the street.
Like, you know, we couldn't do that now. We couldn't just walk down the street
without worrying about being kidnapped.
There's not a lot of freedom when they go out in the front yard, or they can't ride their bikes by themselves to the park.
I couldn't ride my bike around my street. We were going to throw out raped.
Yeah. I mean, that's just not really that safe.
But I get it from the parents' point because it's a safety thing too.
Out there in the real world where things really are scary.
Interesting that you guys think that, because what I'll tell you is that realistically, the physical world, meaning kidnappings and that kind of stuff, it's actually much safer now.
The videos and all the social media, though, they amplify, of course, the stuff that gets the much more engagement, which, I mean, maybe that seemed to be interpretation on me saying that the pedo stuff exploding on YouTube. That's one thing that they showed that it is not an exaggeration or something that's inflamed from the algorithm or nothing.
Fearful of your child stepping foot outside. It seems like there's so much imminent risk with all these things. So it's more of an issue with one in the parent. And then for the kids, you know, it's hard to engage in a world where it seems like every day or every week or something, there is something horrible happening.
What makes you think that?
Yeah, I think it's because like it's so like populated in like the news and stuff. Like you hear all these like watching the news and like really.
Do you guys feel like teachers and adults and parents in general have kind of abandoned helping you through the social media thing in life?
It's also like we shield stuff from our parents too. So like they don't
Really
know.
sneaky.
Like I don't blame them for not.
Become too isolated, just losing human touch. And there's no human touch to
absolutely take away the internet from my kids.
Yes, I would have rather grown up without the internet.
I mean, I would do it immediately. Take it all away.
If social media
I would too.
was gone like completely and nobody had it, it'd be a positive.
I do long some form.
Just imagine if, I don't know,
for my children to know a bit more peace, a bit more calm, a bit more.
Apps were only a thing that came like maybe on gaming consoles, and your phone was just strictly communication only. It'd be so much different.
For boredom.
You can't go back. You can't go back. I know we can't go back, but I wish we could make children realize that life is precious and it's a gift, and we need to really just really value it.
Do I wish that we could just throw all the technology away? I kind of do, honestly. But I know that that is not the solution.
I think we're going through a painful process of adaptation to fundamentally changed our culture.
But the opportunities for these kids in this world are so much more vast. And yes, it's more complicated and it comes with its own set of worries and concerns. But if you take the control out of it and you focus on just trying to teach them how to be people in this world with all the things coming at them.
Technology is amazing. I think it's a great thing that teachers get consumption.
So new technology almost unintended consequence. Of car, we have the cars, but so the answer was we airbags and lists. We're constantly looking at educational solutions to get technology safer.
How do we keep our kids safe?
there's so much to that. I think we need a mass public awareness campaign so people understand what's going on. One thing I have learned is that if you tell people this is bad for you, they won't listen. If you tell people this is how you're being manipulated, no one wants to feel manipulated.
As parents, though, we decided we're going to become the experts. They need to start to see us as the experts rather than just everybody out there.
What's awesome is all these parents are, becoming innovators. They're like, wow, isn't this that we need? And so I'm going to invent it. There's so much more help now than there was 5 years ago.
And there are ways that it can benefit. And there are ways that it can benefit them hugely. It's dying.
The best thing that you can do for your child is make sure that they feel comfortable talking to you about these.
Just a few short years. And I want to know that we gave everything that we had.
I mean, that's the truth. My husband, who is he's not a very emotional guy. He will call me up in the middle of the day and be like, gosh, she's just amazing. She's an amazing soul.
I just so desperately want those young people to have other voices in their life, adults who will look at them and say, that's not who you are. That's not who I see. This will come and go. I see you. You're going to be okay. I love you. And they just need to hear that. We all need to hear that.
Now get outside, go touch grass, read your stuff, ride your bike, do something else. But you know what? We're not going to sit here and talk about Beano. That's all for now. Have a great day. See ya.
Yo, what up, everybody? How everybody doing? Sorry, I was outside and busy. I was trying to get back to the computer as fast as I could. Anyway, listen, old Squitler. I know you're probably listening. Even if you're not, if I can get some good Workyverse people out there to tag Square in a community post and ask them to come over to the live tonight and let's have a discussion, because this whole panel idea, it just doesn't work without the Workyverse in there. Oh, he's live again. It don't work without one of us there. So, because nobody speaks for us but us. So it doesn't matter who the fuck he talks to. You still need to talk to us. Hang on.
She says ain't nobody gonna change her opinion.
Let me rewind it.
All right, so we're back on here. I'm going straight into this because I legit hadn't watched it. Legit. I think that so Paula apparently has been thinking that I've been watching her very closely. I haven't. And I've just skimmed through this morning and I see she had a little discussion with Mustard and now she was too easy, y'all. Like, I didn't remember the question. Which question's that exactly, Paula, that I don't remember? I mean, there were a bunch of questions asked on both sides.
Yeah, it's playing right now. Can you hear it?
She says ain't nobody gonna change her opinion about nobody, right? Or whatever. And she was way too nice, and Mustard's like, you went out of your way, and oh, fuck him, I ain't going over there, all this, that. Well, thank you for helping me conclude.
What's up, Roland? What's up, everybody?
Even after you've been dogged by their idol, their daddy, they want me to call him that and think of him and think that I'm branded by that or something, using the social. There's a reason that documentary gets played, that was just played.
Reason what documentary? What the fuck is he talking about?
I've had to come to realize the things that I have thought and different, they're not true. They're a product of all this shit. What are you talking about, Miss Paula? Like, you won't come hit my link, though, I bet, and tell me exactly, just, why you think, number one, I was trying to change opinion. Here's, again, remember how we started out? You was bullying me, harassing me with all
block
these
for
people.
life. That's right.
Everything
we are
else
block
on
for
here.
life.
As someone that's
What's up, Red Dog? What's up,
in
Kaylan,
the
Mama
field of
Payday,
mental health.
Steph, Caparo? What's up, everybody? Rolling.
And I got angry. I made the call.
Goblin.
Guess what? The call was to, your voicemail. Oh my God. Oh my God. I got you so upset, right? It literally, the only thing it did was she just let that fester to her, I never contacted the state. I haven't tried to fuck up her actual.
Hey, little sniper.
Nothing
Shout
like
out, bro.
that. Did I talk about it?
Appreciate it.
Yes, of course.
He won't do it, but we'll make a community. I'll make a community post too.
I also pleaded with you, when I was pleading with workies and stuff, that included you then just because you're not now. What the experiment was about was to see if you would just act human and be like, like, oh, okay, and listen to my point, and I listen to yours. And if you would have come on this panel, I would have asked you a few more questions. I guess I'm not going to get the answers to. That's fine. I guess I could share some of them. If I do, though, I mean, you're just going to it's going to be calculated, whatever the response is, and it'll be on the next stream or whatever they're in. But, I guess it doesn't matter then. Like, one of them was going to be, do you honestly and truly believe and hold true to all the representations made by the people that are no longer at least considering you a part of their group? But notice how I didn't say that it completely abandoned, because I'm not going to do that, because it's not exactly true. They didn't just abandon her channel. Now, and I'll tell you the core reasons. She's up early. She's either covering Beano, or if I've live me. Not going to be able to do that anymore in the mornings, Paula. I'm not going to be here for you. So I hope you have enjoyed Beano. You get to keep her. I'm not hitting Fusion's link anytime. If I even might remotely be open to the possibility of even conversing with him, it would be here or nowhere. Period. End of discussion. Like, I'm not debating it. I'm not anything. It was simply all about to see if she would decide to act authentically or under pressure. And this morning is enough example to show that she's acting under the pressure.
Okay, I made a community
when I
post.
first
If you
saw
want to share it
the
and tag
comment
Square,
that
because he's
D's
probably got me
left,
blocked, so he may
I
not
was
see
like,
it. But
all right. That's it's not like I wanted that to happen, but I said it. I knew that it was on. I was like, all right, it's on. So now this is going to determine how, if I decide to go up again or have her in mind, like there's going to be some things that show. And I said to myself, she's going to end up, superficially talking and what have you, but we're not going to make any, we're not going to get to a point to where I really can't. She asked if do you realize how much shit this is? No, I can't fucking remember every damn thing. I bet you can, though. All y'all can, can't you? You can remember every damn thing. Got it too easy. Too easy. What? What was too easy? You know what? I think what we'll do is we will play. Because honestly, I want to. I didn't even review it myself. So I made a change of course. I think it illustrates perfectly that I mean, you either have to be wanting to do it out of principle, out of heart, to stand up against a crowd. I think that, and that's not like any wild knowledge, but I wanted to know if Miss Paula and Cassie and them, if they heard me out and stuff. Not, I guess she wanted to, or I guess she was thinking that I wanted to. Well, I'm trying to figure out what she thought I was going to change. Not about my fucking.
If this motherfucker would quit being a pussy and just hit my fucking link
Oh,
tonight.
now y'all want. Why do y'all want me to talk to Fusion?
I'm gonna have to change the title of my live because once he sees it, he won't want to come over.
No. See, y'all think y'all want to use Fusion, and it's all Fusion, because Fusion's been since the very beginning of the fucking whole plan, and so he knows a lot of things, and that's what they're gonna do. And that's not fair. You know, it'd be fair conversation between me and him privately that another fucking unbiased party could keep control of and then release. That'd be a fucking fair one. So if you want to play that, play it. I'll call y'all out for not having balls, because I mean, if your point is your point, then you come over here. I made my apologies and everything. I took accountability, and your friend, your co-host, whatever.
Probably.
I didn't ask her to then start saying, "Oh, square is the best thing next to sliced bread," or none of that. I just was going to see if if I showed, like I don't have any fucking animosity. I don't never wanted to hate you. I didn't want you to be out of your job or nothing like that.
I just wanted Square to be
I
my
don't-
friend.
because those were the things I made out
I
to
mean,
be.
we were friends.
I told my story just like I've always told it, which is reiterated. And I explained to her, I'm sorry that, I did what I did and felt like I should have done. And but I mean, I think it was overplayed. Well, like I said in the comment I left under the video, I think it's extremely overplayed. She overplayed it herself, and Mustard and all them reminded her of it while on panel because they wondered if I was getting breakthrough to her. That's why that they've now, like, a bunch of people say, "Oh, you was too easy. You should have brought so and so up. So you should have, made it. You didn't. Now you really cemented that. Your alienation from further. Da 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 da. Who knows what all they've come up with and said since that panel and shit. And that's just so insane.
But yeah, back to this shit over here.
I didn't ever want her to stop
I know it's Fusion is
doing anything she's gonna choose to do or nothing. I just wanted to see, could she interact with me like a human being? Could she accept my apology? Would she apologize for anything? And you know what? I don't think she did.
I just want to be his friend.
I don't think she did. And I could get into all about apologies and about how sometimes even when you have an argument, and more times than not, a party that's right to get over the argument because they care about, the friendship, whatever relationship more, they'll fall on the sword and be like, I was wrong. I'm sorry. Can we get. And it's usually an indication of someone if they don't also reciprocate in that apology with an apology or try to stop you from apologizing and take it themselves. That's how you know they're decent. And you don't have to be super duper close. You can be a decent person and get in a debate with a stranger and get way off and just be like, you know what, maybe you're right. I might be wrong about that. You know,
I just want to be your
just want to
friend.
attack my
Square.
character and everything, and then play. No, I'm a woman card. Like, you know, my character cannot be attacked, or you're a stereotypical misogynist incel pig. I'm
Yeah,
not
he's a little hard R
fucking
fucking retarded.
quoting and saying she said all that word for word. I'm just saying in general.
Just a little bit.
It came off to me. You know.
I mean, me and Square could be troll buddies together.
Andrea,
If you
if
come
I
over and talk to me,
make you get her on here somehow.
I could take him under my wing and teach
I
him how
don't
to troll.
if I did make media, like
I like all
I
that shit.
don't
It don't
know.
bother me. What was there?
I mean, honestly, how epic
I don't
would
know if
it
you'd really be
be?
fair.
How epic would it be for me and Square to team up and like we could revamp my channel and call it Fusion Squared, and me and Ian, we could be trolls together. We could be buddy trolls and go out and find people to troll with. I think that's a good idea. Take him under our wing. Oh yeah, that'd be fucking great.
For free, right? You don't want to pay for
Everybody
stuff
has a
normally,
right.
right? I think that's the normal. You know, be good. You know, be good at the job.
Go deal with your.
Trying to find something where
Why don't you buy her a mouth?
How's the weather you're at, Mom? I know you've been under. Get the, or I can just
I'm
send
glad
it back to you.
somebody's
Tell
able
me
to
what you want.
text
Right.
mustard within the room.
Exact. That is all he ever wanted. He just wanted to be one of us. Yeah, like a mascot, Roland. Exactly, like a mascot.
You ain't got no work. Nothing. All you do is
No, I haven't had any edibles yet today.
where like around here. When I was away,
Oh, we definitely need a Worky Burst ascot. That's for sure.
you know, be like, oh, you know, y'all know this square, blah, 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 blah. Oh, also, after he made that first community post, he then shared a corresponding vehicle. And da. What was that?
Holy no.
And Bambino, why'd you take this live down? I'm just wondering, like,
Liable for the things that happens on its platform. About
like,
liability. YouTube needs to be liable. They need to follow their own goddamn rules. Everyone, not just one person. Everyone, across the board, every community, every channel. Not just
well, I actually agree with her on that one. But to an extent, well, Bambi, you're not at where I'm at when it comes to accepting that some of this stuff is just not going to be able to be changed, at least not right now. Not overnight.
not just one channel, every channel. If you're gonna have those rules, they need to
How are
follow their
you?
own fucking rules, correct?
Good morning, Miss
You're
Minnie.
seriously
Nice
injured.
to see you, my lady.
I mean, she's
Good morning.
She's just preaching
Releasing
to.
public information or anything like that. I would violate the community guidelines and they will strike my video and take it down. I know
Right.
this because I've done it before. I've had many videos taken down.
I just ain't into that. I don't rock that way.
Going on with his phone or whatever he's using. I mean, it'd be nice though. Like maybe should consider buying him a microphone.
Yeah.
No,
I thought Miss Cassie would be here by now.
matter of fact, if it degrades down to
But
nothing,
they partied. They did had that wedding this weekend.
I
so they
won't
probably
fucking
partied
weep.
out. She might have threw the ham, like go to ham. While I'm waiting on him, I'll play a little Bambi.
Look, we all have to try new things here, and I
Oh,
think
boy.
trying to
Oh boy, she's always bashing.
incorporate Square into a little bit of fun trolling, I think it'd be fun. You guys remember back in the day, whenever Square would be open to coming over here and talking, I mean, we did do some light trolling and shit. He had a good time, man. Remember when we tried to do that Omegle stream and it was all kind of fucked up because I kept trying to bring shit up and he was like, slow down, slow down. I mean, he was having a good old time. He had a good fucking time doing that shit. A good fucking time. Yeah, the karaoke. I mean, he was, but still, I mean, he had fun. I think it'll be great. We need to get back to some of the old times where we all just fucked off and fucked around.
It ain't ever anymore.
And I know she was trying
So,
to do some.
I guess.
Showed short. She was showing a Joel's ex-boyfriend or something like
Yes.
that.
God,
Okay,
this connection is so bad.
like, okay, Bambi, way to sound like a hypocrite. You just complained and wanted to hit against people bullying and doxing and whatnot. Yet here you are doing the very thing.
A weird obsession, Jules.
Yeah.
Jules ain't done shit. Like Jules ain't done shit to her. That bitch just raging.
Yeah, her obsession, Jules.
So,
I will agree with that point.
You're not allowed to. She can do, but you
Right.
Come on, Bo. Come on, Bo.
Hold on, guys.
Come on, Bo.
A bugaboo. You been a bugaboo? Yes, you need to go to prison for the rest of your life.
Dude,
that bitch ain't done shit.
You just complain and want to against people bullying and doxing and whatnot. You are your very thing.
Weird shit, Jules. Jules ain't done shit. like Jules ain't done shit to her. That bitch just fucking rages.
I don't know. I mean, it's like no one can respond to her. Like, you're not allowed to. She can say bad things about you, but you're not allowed to say anything back. If you do, you are considered a stalker and obsessive.
Yes, you need to go to prison for the rest of your life. Yes. That's the way she acts, yes.
Oh, it's quite funny. And, you know, I enjoy it myself. Like, I have no problem responding to you, Bambi. Not a damn problem.
Right? It's been very funny. I mean, I can almost guarantee the rage when she starts, when that damn screaming music, she's got like over volumed. It's just screaming, and then all of a sudden she'll rap on that mic, and I'm like, yes, now we're here.
And again, not because I'm tough.
Look how tired
I have a very strong survival instinct.
Ruru, get some
and
sleep.
whenever I'm physically accosted, they just seem to know just what to do to hurt you more. It's fucking weird. Very, very weird.
What's wrong with him?
Maybe he's a little upset. Just looking like pointing at the road. He's doing a lot of body language.
I mean, he's doing so much.
I do. Yeah, I'm dead serious.
Look, I have it sped up, but Bambi just asked him why is his facial movements. She's just asking him about it. Look, we'll slow it down to see what it looks like. Because that's a lot of facial movement. That's a sure sign of real disgust there.
It's fucking weird. Like,
like
when people physically attack me, I start grabbing shit and hitting them with it.
Bedtime, partied out. Going down.
I've hit a bitch with a scooter, with like a little preschool Star Wars scooter for like a 3-year-old. Hit a bitch in the face with a scooter. Cracked a dude's head open with a cell phone.
Oh yeah.
Hit a dude with a fucking bottle.
She cracked the dude's head.
I don't know, when I'm physically accosted, my hands just go for whatever I can grab, and I'm hitting you with it. Usually in the head or face.
Right.
Is immediately what my response.
Well, you're cracking his head with it. You put a
see if you keep wanting to attack you then. No.
That's funny. Lovely.
I don't get in a lot of physical fights. Like, I try to, not hang out with people who are physically violent normally.
Not usually.
Usually, I mean, usually.
Not usually, no. I don't.
No. Not usually.
Lovely's talking about climbing through a window once pregnant. I said, well, I've gone through a window when I might as well have been.
This dude is
pregnant, and
boring
I
as
fell
fuck.
through it
Whoever
and
is
it
on
was
panel, I
blood.
agree with
So,
Liberty there now. What the fuck?
No, damn.
Panel killer.
Fell through
Get him
it.
I've
off.
never
But,
thrown through
Whoever
a
that is,
window.
I'm coming. I'm sorry.
that was funny. I fell through it. It's funny.
Yes.
Not through a window.
Good morning,
I
Jill.
Well,
Hey,
Good morning.
trying to climb through it. It's
hold
just
on.
high up. High up and I
Good morning.
Did you
How are you?
just see Ruski yawn?
Oh, he's been doing lots of yawning. He's kind of bored.
He's yawning.
Here, I'm gonna
at
turn the
them.
music down and watch them. Here we go, people watch. Yeah, Brewski's tired. He's look like he's going downtown. Downtown.
Well, he's been trying to keep up with his girlfriend there, and she hardly sleeps, so
No
I bet he's
shit.
tired.
Look at that drug film on
Oh, I
his
already
face.
know
Oh my
That's
how
from
God,
doing
you can
drugs
see
all
it.
night.
That is
I already
exactly
know
what
how
that's
it's going
from.
to shake down. Once they split up, he's going to be doxing her and showing pictures
Mm-hmm.
of her or who other kids. I mean, he did the same thing to Andrea. So, I mean, this is going to work out in my advantage, trying to do this honey patrol against Bambi, because once that separation does happen, I'm going to get her phone number.
You're gonna get her
I'm
that
going to
girl.
get her phone number.
Well, I mean,
I
I
thought
have
you
a
already
phone
had it.
number.
I thought you already had it, guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's on the FIOA records.
Well, she claims I got a burner phone number of hers and that Ruski has her real one.
I have her real one.
So, I don't know. I got like 2 different phone numbers I reach
Well,
out
I
to
think
her
she
with.
gave the police the real one, so
Yeah, she did.
I have it.
Yeah, that's the real one.
Oh, you know what, Drew? Send that in the back chat, please. I'd like to grab that from you. Or if you don't want to do that, bring it to someone that does. I don't even have Paula. I don't even talk to Paula privately. So
I talk to no one privately.
so if there is someone who you do.
I think that's funny that, you're just up there on panel so casual that we live in a world today that where you're like, let me get that number from you real quick. Yeah, reach out to her on. I mean, you do realize the talking about her and all that. You're right, but the constant reaching out to her, even online, after like I make sure to not do that. Like that's the last time I tell Ruski today. Like, if you still want to talk, come to the panel. And I told him he wants to talk, so it really was up to his desire. So by that way, she is not going to be able to say I'm harassing her. She can fucking write it down or whatever, but that's true. Or count, fit the bill. And it seems like that's what Fusion, some of them seem to have gotten Squirrel and others to try to adopt, because, Squirrel, they're starting to really tinker, if not still tinkers on the line, with just like y'all would argue about books doing. Which you wouldn't now because you like to go to Bird's channel, but you did before. I know you did.
Yeah. Is it just me, or have you been cutting out?
I'm not. Oh, I'm cutting out, Emma.
I don't know. I gotta get confirmation from the audience. It sounded like you were. It could just be me, though, man.
Yeah, well, I may be. I switched to mic I hardly use, and every time that someone complained about the mic issue and I switched to this one, I didn't get a complaint anymore. So if I am, it's something
Yeah,
beyond
no,
my
actually,
control.
you're actually coming through in pretty clear now. Before, yeah, it had that muffled sound where nobody understood you, but now it's actually coming in clear. It was just choppy audio. It wasn't necessarily a quality issue. But yeah, thank you for understanding my thoughts with Bambi. I also raised another interesting point, Square. You know how she's complaining. You know how she's been okay?
Go ahead.
Okay. She was talking about how you don't deserve a gun, but here she is threatening to kill herself. Remember that audio? I swear I'm going to kill myself, or whatever she said. Well, someone like
And say
that doesn't
square
deserve a gun
or
either.
will like square.
For
Well, I mean, it depends, you know. They're still actively having stuff like that. Whatever something stated that close, I mean, yeah, I would think she would be more in the category of arguing a restriction, not a complete denial, but she would definitely be under a restriction depending upon which state she lived in. But that's the great thing about the United States, though. We have individual states that come up with that stuff, and it's only in a few states that even a 96-hour or 72-hour hold only withholds you for, I think one of them's like a month or maybe 90 days. I think California's 5 years, Missouri's none, the majority of them's none. I mean, you know, because it's basically equating to red flag laws, and red flag laws don't get shit right. Like we saw examples of people that legit got red flagged, and were they stopped? No, they weren't.
yeah. Oh, so I've been hearing rumors that you're gonna try to negotiate peace with the Workyverse and Fusion and MC and all them, or
That's like me saying, you know, we need laws here on about governing this shit. You know, would they be followed? Yeah, but I don't know. With that documentary we just watched, you saw. Look at how inundated it must be with criminal sexual activity and reports and different things. Like I can see why this is more low tier, but people affected by this have ended up harming themselves and other what have you. So I mean, once it crosses that threshold, I think it should be given a priority, even if it's small.
okay. So are you serious about this peace treaty with everyone, like MC, Fusion, and whoever else you wish to have peace with?
I
Are
don't know
you
where they
being
got this
absolutely
idea
serious
from.
about
I got somebody in the back that said if you really want peace, you unblock MC. I don't know when I said anything about like I'm at peace. I'm progressing and trying to work my way towards peace. It's one of the reasons why I'm doing the treatments I'm doing. Oh, look at the doggies. We got a English. Hold on. We don't ever get no dogs around here. Hold on.
Cam up and show them. Dead air, dead air. Were the dogs a deflection? Square. I am curious though, if you were at peace, why did you run away from Paula's? Are you really at peace? Or are you in a constant battle with yourself and your struggles and your difficulties? You've declared war on yourself, Square. I don't think you need to make peace with your enemies. You probably need to make peace with yourself. And I would say unblock everyone on StreamYard and invite people up on your panel and make that peace. That's just my suggestion. I don't know, man. I couldn't tell you. There they are. There's those dogs. What are we looking at here? You are still muted, Square, by the way. The video is a little choppy. I'm struggling to see what you're showing. Now, Square, don't you be going after any of those other dogs' booties.
Yeah, so
I don't.
you kicking up grass on me, Brownie, trying to impress the dogs. He would
No, other dogs' booties are off limits. Don't be trying to go after them. But this is extremely choppy video. We have no audio. This is great. Just great, Square.
Brownie, you ain't gonna get them. You'd run around circles around them. I don't know. That one might keep up with you. He's so fast. He's crazy fast.
Tell that lady you want to kiss her.
He weighs about he just weighs 19 pounds. He's still really fast. All right, have a good one. Bye, guys. I'm gonna have that unmuted next to the lady. Look, I get distracted by dogs. I'm a dog dad. Fuck, my dog needs socialization. And he fucking kicked up a bunch of grass clippings though in my fucking face whenever I was crouched though. He's sitting there showing off, wanting to get out.
Yeah.
Oh, it's hot. Good lord. I need to turn the air. Good lord, the air's on.
But anyhow, Square, I do suggest unblocking everyone, just hitting that button, and try this all over again.
I'm not blocking everyone.
Okay.
Listen,
you can keep the bad ones.
I don't have any desire. Listen, here's the thing. Paula wasn't going to be good or bad. The outcome of this experiment is not what it was about. It was to see what people, treat people like they do normally. Normally you give people the benefit of the doubt. If a friend introduced you to someone new or whatever, maybe today with, you might do a people check on him, make sure at least he's not got fucking any funny charges or nothing. But I mean, nobody seems to want to act that way online, and I wanted to illustrate that I knew there'd be pressure, I knew there'd be judgment, I knew it'd be like, what the fuck, what's he doing? It would surprise them. They wouldn't expect me wanting to go on any panel. That's why I did it.
Well, okay.
No.
If you were to invite like Mr. Fusion on channel, would you let him on?
No, I mean, you must be talking to him.
Okay. What about MC? Would he be allowed on? I already know what you would
What's
say
he
about
talking about? Hold on. What is she talking about? How did he not hear any of that? Hear any of what?
I didn't hear when you were outside. Your audio was extremely choppy and the video was all gone, so I didn't hear any of that. So she's just saying, how did I not hear any of that? Because it's true, I didn't.
No, look.
Is it? Ooh.
Well, Drewski was putting her in his title, and I think I forget somebody else did.
Cousin, I think.
That's what I'm saying. Like with everything. Now, right here, this now, like right here, she's putting up a thing. No pew pew for the juju. I mean,
they're insinuating that you're Jewish and that you shouldn't possess a firearm. That's what that means.
Like, dude, I really tried to be nice. Probably put.
I know what it means.
I went ahead and took that shit, and
gaslight. Look, she's just all she's trying to do today is she's thinking she's got a safe face or her reputation. That she thinks hell, she didn't even act really fully appropriate. She let up MC and she lets you up. I mean, everything. Like she didn't give me undivided attention. Like she wants the same does. She wants to be, I'm sure, given undivided attention. If she requested talk or whatever, sit down, panel up. I mean, imagine you come up here and I got music blaring and two other people I've let up and I get to talking about them and you're just sitting up here like, what the fuck? I was the one invited. Like, I mean, or I was the one that fucking asked for this. I mean, I'm getting up here interrogated by fucking MC. Like, this motherfucker supposedly left the internet and here he just pops right on back up. Like,
maybe there's something changed about him.
No.
I only just speculate. That's all I do. Anyhow, hopefully someone else
joins you up today. I'm going to run off square. I'll catch you around.
Yeah, all right.
Where did he go? Did he end again? Or is he muted like an idiot? I get a catch up. Oh, it's caught up. He still ain't talking. Square Bear. Square Bear. Come on, baby doll. Hit the fucking link tonight. What's up, Goblin? All you beautiful peoples. He's reading his chat. He probably is. I don't know. If he's typing in chat in his chat, I can't see it. Oh my god. Seth just sent me a clip of fucking Cyrax singing singing an upchurch song. I'm pretty sure he's singing YZ. That's too funny. Fucking Cyrax. Crazy ass motherfucker. Well, if old boy isn't going to come back on here, then I'm going to get off here until I need to go live tonight because I got things to do before then. Come on, Square Bear. We ain't got all goddamn day here for you to figure it out. Fuck. Yeah, he does. Yes, he does. Well, yeah. Who wants to sit there in a fucking live stream where nobody's saying nothing? Like, he probably doesn't even realize that he's fucking muted and he's probably just sitting there talking. Yeah, I can't watch too much Cyrax. I mean, his fucking mouth just, it makes me feel weird. Anytime he opens his mouth, like he is so nasty. Ugh. And I don't understand how that motherfucker has ever gotten a fucking girlfriend. Because, I mean, hopefully they've never, like any of his ex-girlfriends have never met him in person and like, Jim.
I'm gonna go get off here, you guys. I'm sorry, we didn't do much more than talk about ghosts, but Miss Paula, all else I can say about you, hon, is I'm sorry you thought I had some motive. The only motive was maybe, would you act like an actual individual? Judge me not based on freaking videos compiled together when you know as well as yourself that there's actions and things done before, during, and after to influence them. Like, I mean, she said just nothing to make her change her opinion. Well, that's fine. So you make set opinions about people. So I guess what people can take from that is, whatever. I don't know, like where you thought that approval was something that was trying. It was about integrity more. That's all. Y'all have a good one.
Y'all have a good one now, you heard? All right, he's done. Well, fuck, people. What do you guys think? You think Square's going to hit the link tonight? I mean, he might be curious. Square, listen. If you come back here and listen to this shit, it'll just be me and you on panel. I won't let anybody else up there. Okay? Just me and you. One-on-one debate about all this shit that's happened in the past almost 3 years, okay? We got a lot to talk about. We haven't talked in a while. We really haven't. I'd like to have a conversation like we used to have back in the day. I mean, you're right. He has no balls, but I mean, he might get a little curious and hit the link. Look, and Square, look, you can't you can't always have it your way and have everybody come up on your panel, bud, because you have a tendency to get over emotional and you mute people or take them down or you over talk them. At least over here, it'll be fucking fair and I won't mute you or take you off the fucking panel. But, you know, you think you're at peace, you're not. You think you're ignoring us, you're not. I mean, every time you go live, all you do is talk about everything that's happened everywhere in every verse or sector or corner of YouTube. You're still doing the same thing that you've always done, just in a different way. Like, oh, I'm not worried about these people no more. I'm not worried about the weekend or the working person no more. Like they're not, I'm at peace. You're not at peace. If you are, you wouldn't be coming on here every fucking day and talking about it every fucking day. You may not be directly talking about us, but you're talking about the situation. And that's milk, motherfucker. That is milk. You're still fucking out here fucking mooing, dude. Every time you go live, every video you watch, you somehow turn it into something that's happened with you on here. It doesn't matter what video you're watching, you somehow make it about you. I have questions. And I, for one, will never stop until me and Square have an honest conversation with each other. And that's just a fact. Anyway, I'm out for the day. Till later tonight when I go live at 6. I will see you guys then. Peace out.